Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners getting it done as they win their 7th game in a row last night against the Mets. They look to win the series today when they send Logan Gilbert to the hill. He'll face off against an opener, and then a young man named Tong, last name of Tong, Jonah Tong, who's pitched a total of 6 innings in his major league career at 22 years old. Will get the bulk of the work after that. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, in the NFL, Josh Jacobs has returned to the Packers offseason program. He practiced today while he remains under investigation after being arrested last week on domestic abuse allegations. He was on the field with the rest of the starters for the first 11-on-11 snap of the team's OTA practice, so we'll see what goes on with his pending court case.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Tuesday to everybody out there on another beautiful, sunny, warm day outside. Hopefully everybody's staying cool. It's very summer type of weather, and it's going to cool off dramatically, I guess, tomorrow. So great. Take advantage of this while it's here.
Great.
Yeah.
We have to go down to the ballpark tomorrow. We get to, I should say.
Yeah.
We get to go down.
We'll be inside. It'll be okay.
They'll close the roof.
I think it's going to be nice. It's just not going to be 85 like it's supposed to be today. I think Lefko and I were looking at the extended weather. I think it drops to like 70 tomorrow.
Yeah, Dave, they're not closing the roof. Toughen up.
Yeah.
Play in the rain?
Yeah. No, it's not. I don't think it's supposed to rain tomorrow much, but then it gets pretty bad.
You get a couple days,
couple
and then it comes back. It'll be good tomorrow, too. But hopefully they're looking at a series sweep tomorrow. That's what we're hoping. They'll get it done tonight, and then you got a day game tomorrow before they take to the road. Coming up, we'll talk some baseball with Jon Morosi at 3:30, as we do each and every week. Charlie Furbush, for his weekly conversation, will be in studio with us from 4 to 5 p.m., and then El Hombre joins us for his weekly conversation at 5 p.m. You guys can text in 866-979-3776. Weigh in on the Mariners, Seahawks, whatever's on your mind. But interesting game last night, Dave, in that the offense was being shut down. And it was a bit of a pitcher's duel out there. Emerson Hancock was great. He gave up, it's weird to say, he gave up 2 home runs. He was great. But those are the only 2 hits he gave up, and they were both solo shots.
Yeah.
So you got 6 innings, 2 runs out of him, no walks. He was spectacular.
He was spectacular, man. He's just been phenomenal. And, I was listening to the pregame show with Shannon, and she was replayed part of that where it was the Cal Raleigh show, and, Shannon interviewed Cal, and he was talking about Emerson Hancock and how, that was the time where he said he's being too pitcherish. Mm-hmm. And, he said he had him go out there, and I don't know if he did it or, somebody suggested to just play like you're a shortstop and just throw the ball over to first and just whatever's natural. Yeah. And, and that kind of clicked for him at that point. I mean, he was obviously already really good, but, yeah, I mean, it's just been phenomenal, and it's incredible how he's able to, throw strikes in the zone, and the hitters are just entirely baffled by it. I mean, it's been incredible.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, 2 hits. They were both home runs, but solo shots, 2 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. He's got a 2.8 ERA. I mean, he's been fantastic. And more importantly, the team did what good teams do. When things aren't clicking, when things aren't lining up the way you want, where the offense was being stymied, to say the least. They had 4 total hits in this game. Mm-hmm. They found a way to win. That's what good teams do. Right, in any sport. When things aren't going right, somebody gets hurt, whatever, the plays aren't working in football, blah, 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 blah. You keep it close and you find a way to win. And that's exactly what they did. It wasn't, this isn't a game we're all going to look at and go, what a spectacular display. No, it was a great display of pitching. Your offense didn't have a great night, yet you still found a way to win your 7th game in a row.
Yeah, and it's great to look back on, because if you look at how they started the season, they were 1-4 in extra inning games, but they've now won 3 in a row, so they're evened up, obviously. But yeah, they're finding ways to win these games. So, and they weren't early on. And, and I don't know, this is maybe a sign of, like, this is where the turnaround happens. I mean, you got the Mets that aren't that good, but you did take 3 from the Diamondbacks. So, they were pretty good. We don't know if that's strength of schedule or not, but yeah, it's been really fun to watch, and just exciting. And I don't know, I get kind of this feeling of dread when they go into extra innings, and I guess that's because of the beginning of the season. But right now, man, they've won 3 in a row in extra innings. It's been fantastic. Yeah,
3 of their last 4 games have gone to extra innings. So you're getting a lot of that action where they were not doing well in those situations earlier in the year, as you talked about. So it's a fun run. Enjoy it while it's happening. They'll find a way to lose a game. We'll all be mad about what didn't happen and what didn't go right. But right now, this team is playing the way you expected. And until this homestand, the Mariners were 6-12 in 1-run games and 1-3 in extra innings before this stretch. Mm-hmm. So they've turned it around. The confidence is different. You go in that clubhouse, it's a different vibe. You're getting guys, we talked about this yesterday, up and down the roster, up and down that lineup that are chipping in, and Cole Young gets it done again.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, broken bat, looper left field. It's a base hit. Randy scores. The Mariners have done it again. The magic dust has been sprinkled here at T-Mobile Park. They've walked it off in extra innings for the 3rd time in the series. They've won 7 in a row. It's all Mariners. Unbelievable.
Listen to that joy.
Who was that giggling in the background?
I think it might have been Riz.
Is that Riz?
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to hear that again. He's like, you can tell he's just truly happy.
Here comes the 1-0. Swung on, broken bat, looper left field. It's a base hit. Randy scores. The Mariners have done it again. The magic dust has.
Riz is giddy. He's just giddy with joy.
How long has he been doing this? And he's still
40-some years, yeah. He
still
loves
finding the joy.
Yeah, yeah. It was just it was just such a great moment, and Cole Young's turning into a star in front of our eyes, a guy that you just have expectations of. We'll talk more about him, but he's just a guy, when he gets into the box, I'm starting to get to that point where I just expect he's going to do something.
Yeah.
And that's a lot for a guy who's in his first full season, right? He played part of the season last year, certainly struggled. And this is a different player this year, and he's come up with some big moments. And Jeff Passan, talking with Brock and Salk, talked about the Mariners winning these close games they weren't winning earlier in the year.
It's not just 7 straight, but to me, the thing that I've taken away from this run more than anything is that 3 of the last 4 have been by 1 run. And the Mariners had been awful in 1-run games up to that point in the season. So the fact that they're winning close ones, that they're winning blowouts, that they're scoring runs, but more than anything, that they're getting just this excellent starting pitching and great pitching altogether, that's the formula for this team. That's how they were supposed to win, and that's exactly what they're doing now.
Yeah, and he's right. The numbers I just gave you, this from an article that Daniel Kramer wrote on MLB.com. Mariners were 6-12. In 1-run games and 1-3 in extra innings before this stretch.
Yep.
So just tremendous turnaround, to say the very least. The pitching was outstanding, as we talked about with Emerson Hancock. The bullpen was just as good. I mean, you had Ferrer, Brash, Munoz, Spire. All your leverage arms go. They did not give up a single hit. They did not walk anybody. And they had, 4 or 5 strikeouts combined. Yep. No hits, no walks. 5 strikeouts combined. They were spectacular. And you look at that going, all right, we're seeing the benefit of the piggyback? I know it's a sore subject for some people, but that was a fully rested bullpen. Everybody available, everybody on rest, everybody ready to go. Is that one of the benefits we're seeing right there? Did you get a little evidence of I guess the positive aspect of the piggyback situation?
Yeah, I think you did. Right now, I'm just looking at their overall stats. They're number 2 in our ERA. the bullpen. Home runs, they're tied for second, only haven't given up 15, and then they're number 5 as far as giving up the fewest walks. So yeah, they're getting it done, and it's starting to have kind of a ripple effect, and maybe everybody will by the end of the year be going, oh man, that whole piggyback thing was genius.
As long as it keeps working, it's going to be. We'll see how they handle it if one of the two goes out there and gets lit up. But Emerson Hancock mentions the bullpen when he's asked what stood out about the team's pitching performance.
Sure. I mean, the bullpen. I mean, just to be able to come in there and shut things down. I mean, it is. Like, I know for me personally, it's like if I do my job and whoever's coming out of that bullpen, they're going to come in there and execute. And that's a good feeling to have.
Yeah, I mean, that's another great sign. I mean, what does that mean is the question. I mean, they're able to win these kinds of games that your bullpen's doing really well, and they've got plenty of rest. And, and just, all kinds of different guys coming up with with hits and with timely plays. And, you look at, like, last night, you look at Randy. He was just a pest. Just a pest on the base paths, and he contributed in his own sort of way. So it's just been like everybody is chipping. If you look at the top of the ESPN page, it's all Randy and Luke. Average Randy 286. He's the best on the team. Home runs Luke 13. RBIs Luke 31, and then on base percentage and hits Randy. On base percentage 371. He's got 64 hits. So, yeah, I mean, you're getting it from that. Brendan Donovan and Cal Raleigh not even there. And then you look on the pitching side of it, and it's been as good as it can get.
Yeah, it's, they're playing good ball. Again, not a great night for the offense, but that's what makes this win more impressive to me is they found a way. I mean, they had 4 total hits. They worked 1 walk, and they struck out 9 times. Mm-hmm. You look at that line, you're going, well, they lost. Right, if you didn't know the final score, and you said, here's their offense last night. Tell me, did they win or lose? 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. You're going, well, they lost. Right. They found a way to win. And by the way, they're sitting there at 32-29 right now. At this point last year, after 61 games, 32-29.
How about that?
So there you go. They've matched at this point who they were last year.
Yeah.
And I think they lost a few in a row at this point last year. They actually went back under 500 at one point. So we know how last year finished. So, yeah, it's just there's a lot to be optimistic about and a lot to take, even though the Mets are a team that are struggling. They came in having won 4 in a row. They do have talent on that roster, certainly. It's just they're not getting it together. So just a hell of a night out there. You got all your leverage arms, got work, they're rested, getting Spire in there. It was great to see. And when it comes to Hancock, we had that conversation with Ryan Rowland-Smith last week where he kind of intimated that, he's still got to look over his shoulder. He's still, if he has a bad out, it kind of implying, he didn't say flat out they would remove him from the rotation if he had a bad outing, but he kind of implied like,
it was a big night for him.
Yeah, like that was his most important start, not this one, but the one previous where he went out there and dealt again.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really buy it then. And that's not a shot at Ryan. I certainly don't buy it now.
Oh.
He's entrenched. I mean, are we beyond the proving it phase with him for fans and everybody? Do you buy into this is who he is? This is this guy. We're not still waiting to see, all right, what does he look like a couple starts from now? Do you buy this version of Emerson Hancock? Have you seen enough? Or are you still wondering, all right, when he gets past his career high in innings, it gets later in the season, what kind of pitcher where are you at with Emerson Hancock? I'm curious from fans. 866-979-3776. That was his 8th quality start last night, by the way. He's tied with Brian Wu for the team lead this year.
Mm-hmm.
Just by way of comparison, he had 5 total quality starts last year. He's got 8 right now.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at really the only outing he had was the White Sox. We end up winning that game, but he gives up 5 earned runs. Still went 6 innings, but other than that, no. I mean, he's on his way. I don't think he's looking back. So it's been pretty phenomenal. I love the way that came together last night with the pitching, and you mentioned it, but you went Hancock, Ferrer, Brash, Munoz, and Spire, and those are like the top 4 names from that bullpen. that those are your leverage guys, and you got it done. And he goes 6 innings, like you said, gets the quality start. So everything on the pitching side of it has been really phenomenal lately. You haven't seen any real like big meltdowns, and it's kind of keeping them in it until they can get the offense going, which they're starting to, and then also get Cal and Brendan Donovan back.
Yeah, and not to pick on Kirby, he wasn't great in his last start, but that was one again. They found a way to win.
Yeah,
they won that game, even though he didn't go out there and do what we'd seen him do earlier in the season. They found a way to overcome what he wasn't able to do in that game. So you see an offense that didn't really click in this game. They found a way to win. Kirby goes 5 1/3, gives up 4 earned runs. Not a great night, but they found a way to win that game. So that's the resilience and just sort of the confidence and belief this team seems to be playing with right now is really fun to watch. And just as it pertains to Hancock, Dan was talking about it last night and just talking about how impressive Hancock and Garver were in keeping the Mets hitters in check.
He and Garv, I thought, were kind of masterful at what they did today. You could really see the wheels turning, see those guys thinking through a lot of those at-bats and using the sweeper, I think 3 in a row at one point, and then, using the sinker when he needed it, using, all his stuff, the cutter when he had to. They were just really smart about how they approach each hitter, and I think that's what's been so successful for Emerson, and what another quality start for him, and just an outstanding job giving us a chance to win.
Yeah, again, his 8th quality start of the season, tied with Brian Wu for the team lead, and again, he only had 5 all of last year.
Mm-hmm.
So just so much fun when this team is playing like this, when they're finding ways and they're not mashing every night. Some nights they are, some nights they're not. Some nights it's the stars coming up, Julio having a big game, or Randy or whoever. Last night it was Colt Emerson. It was Cole Young. It was Naylor coming up with the home run. It was, he only had 4 hits. So it was spread amongst just a couple of people, but you still found a way. And you when they step into the box, for the most part, you're looking at them going, yeah, I think this guy's going to do something.
Yeah.
With very few exceptions.
Well, the other thing I liked about it is also that Luke Raley has been doing lately, and just the fact that he leads the team in RBIs and home runs. The other thing about it, he's only got 152 at bats.
Yeah.
And you look at Randy, he's got 224, and he's the leader for average and on base percentage and hits, but also just the little things. Him stealing third was huge, and I just, as much as sometimes we're like, he takes some difficult routes. We were talking about this before the show that, I think Randy is a really good base stealer. Like, he just has a sense for it. Lefko and I were talking about that, both him and Naylor, that like those guys aren't speed demons, and especially if you watch Randy Rosarena in left field. He doesn't often look fast back there, but those guys getting it done that way, everybody's just so dialed in and just finding different ways to win a game. So, it's easy when you hit, 4 or 5 home runs and everybody's hitting and it's working, but when you have to kind of scrap for it, it's good to know that they can win those kinds of games. And yeah, I know the Mets, they're kind of a disaster, especially based on all of the money that they spent, but they got a lot of talent there. And to be able to take a game like that from them, I think pretty much solidifies, that it was a legit win against the Diamondbacks as well.
Yeah. It's look, they're much like the Diamondbacks, playing who's in front of them. They don't create their own schedule. So the Mets were expected to be good. They've got the second highest payroll in all of baseball, well over $300 million. So they're investing in their product. But it's. Right now, it's not working out for them, and hopefully that remains true for these next 2 games.
I wish more teams – yeah, exactly. I wish more teams spent a lot of money and were a disaster like the Mets.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like the Dodgers and the Yankees.
And the Blue Jays are kind of – for a team that's they're top 5 in payroll, and they were
playing up to that.
They were in the World Series last year, and they are currently under 500, 29-31 on the season. So hopefully that continues for them too, because I'm holding a grudge for them beating the Mariners.
Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You should.
You like to find. There's lots of different ways for you to find grudges.
That's right. Yeah, I'm good at that. Text coming in 206. Hancock is a gangster. We are trending up. 425. His velocity as the season goes will tell you, but he's top 2 of our starters right now. 509. Really enjoying Emerson Hancock. Great game. Jason says, well, I bought 6 of Hancock's rookie card autos. So, yes, I believe. I don't know what that means. About his rookie cards. I don't know what. Autograph, maybe? Is that what that means?
I don't know. How about Joe in Bellevue saying Hancock will be the Sam Darnold of baseball? He'll pitch a shutout in the World Series and still have doubters.
Yeah, it's probably true. I mean, but it's only because of how he's been used since he's been here. Again, remember, he was the number 6 overall pick in the draft. He wasn't a late round guy who, this guy's going to be serviceable. It's a top 10 pick in the Major League Baseball draft. So that comes with expectation. But people are still a little skeptical. Finding a way against poor teams is not the same as finding a way against good teams, says the 425. Okay. Well, they can, again, only play who's in front of them, and they did it against good teams. They did it against the Diamondbacks. They did it against the A's. So I'm not sure what else you want to see. You want to see it continue, and hopefully it will. But, yeah, you're clinging to your cynicism there, but I would say.
Let it go.
All right, let's take 2.
Well, quickly on that point. So the Diamondbacks proceeded to beat the Dodgers last night, 4-1.
Yeah, but they're not very good.
And Ketel Marte, who was the hottest hitter in baseball before he was 0 for 11, had a 2-run homer in that game.
Yeah.
But they're not very good. So there you go. A note on that. Meanwhile, some big news for the Seahawks today. They signed Derick Hall to a 3-year, $42 million extension, $21 million guaranteed. He was going into the final year of his rookie contract, now under contract through 2029.
I love it. 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. This is a guy that he will do the dirty work. And we talk about, I think some of the most impressive things I see Derick Hall do is when he's playing the run on the edge. He's fantastic. So, and he's just a pure power rusher. So, love seeing that. And he's always been kind of a guy that's maybe one of those guys that you want on your team that has an edge. I heard a story that last year that he hit Aaron Rodgers in the Pittsburgh game. And it was kind of, borderline, like a late hit. And I guess Aaron Rodgers started like chirping at him. And he said, "Bleep you, old man." So you got to love that. And heard that story from a very reliable source. And I just love his nastiness, what he's all about. If you want, go back and look at like how his life started out. That, they basically had to resuscitate him. He didn't have a heartbeat. I mean, it's an amazing story, but D Hall, well deserved as far as the $21 million guaranteed and the $42 million contract.
A couple of AL West notes. The Astros have activated Josh Hader off the IL. They just did that recently today. So they're getting slightly healthier, but slightly doing a lot of work here. They still have about 6 starting pitchers on the injured list.
That's a shame.
Team to watch, yeah, I know. So bad. Feels so bad for them. The team to watch might be the Rangers, though. They have won 4 in a row. They just beat the Cardinals last night, and they are, 2.5 games back of the Mariners.
Yeah, they're the only other team in the division with a plus run differential. You look at the Mariners are plus 31. The Rangers are plus 8. Everybody else is underwater there, with the A's being minus 34, Astros minus 33, the Angels minus 52. So
yeah, I saw that today we're number 2 in the American League as far as run differential and tied for 5th in all of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, behind the Yankees are number 1 in the American League.
But yeah, I mean, you look at, just pull up the Houston Astros injury page. I mean, you got Correa, Hunter Brown, Shoemake, Christian Javier. I mean, they're still a disaster.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
The MASH unit.
Yeah. Take 2 is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. The future has arrived early for the Mariners. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And summer in Western Washington, you know, it means trips to the beach, summer barbecues, little golf, that vacation maybe you've been looking forward to. Well, when you take those pictures this summer, don't you want to look and feel your very best? Eastside Weight Loss Clinic can help, and trust me, you can do this so fast. I lost 15 pounds just in the first 2 weeks, 35 pounds after 8 weeks. How about that? There's time, so what are you waiting for? Schedule a 15-minute, no-obligation consultation right now at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Here's what to expect. Safe, healthy, sustainable weight loss, no exercise, no pills, no injections, no surgery. You're eating all real food that you buy at the grocery store. You will lose weight and you will look and feel your very best. That feeling, it's just on the other end of your 15-minute consult. What's the secret? You'll find out in only 15 minutes with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Schedule your quick intro today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Whatever the heat index, stay cool this summer. Your local Bryant dealer can make sure your system is up to the task. Whether it's maintaining your current system or installing an energy-efficient Bryant Evolution cooling system with perfect Humidity Plus technology, your dealer will give you what you need to help your family beat the heat. Learn more and schedule an appointment with a factory-authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. That's BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Feeling lucky? Don't miss the Lucky Spring Classic Collector Car, Truck, and Boat Auction. Saturday, June 6th at Tacoma's LeMay Marymount Event Center. Up to 200 collector, vintage, and classic vehicles, many going to the highest lucky bidder with absolutely no reserve. Get lucky, get local, and get in line. Visit LuckyOldCar.com for a list and pictures of auction vehicles. Or call 206-467-6531 for bidding and consignment details.
Thinking about investing in home upgrades? Worry less and save more with Snohomish PUD's network of trade allies. These are trusted local contractors who can install heat pumps, insulation, new windows, and more. And when you work with a PUD trade ally, you can unlock instant rebates. This means lower upfront costs, lower energy bills, and work done by vetted pros. Find a PUD trade ally at snowpud.com/rebates.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-895-1414. That's 800-895-1414.
Pump up the volume.
Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong. From the back door to the front lawn.
Rushing all of her video calls. Back to back to back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the socksies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch to
today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. In case you're just tuning in, a reminder coming up, Jon Morosi will join us at 3:30. Charlie Furbush in studio from 4 to 5 p.m. El Hombre Michael Bradley joins us at 5 p.m., and then we'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show coming up at 5:30. Meanwhile, we're seeing the youth movement, Dave. We're seeing some of the young prospects. Certainly we've seen it with the pitching. You saw it with Wu and Miller being called up. But you're seeing it with position players now, beyond Julio and Cal, who are still young guys, but you're seeing it with Cole Young and Colt Emerson. And, obviously Cole Young's got more time under his belt, but Colt Emerson is giving you those flashes. He certainly looks completely comfortable in the field. At the plate, he's starting to look like that guy that's been here too.
Manaea deals. Swung on, smoked, right field. It's high, it's deep, it is gone! Cole Emerson does it again, his third of the year, and the Mariners have the lead 1-0. A bolt from Colt. He's been an extra base hit machine for the Mariners.
A bolt from Colt. He's bordering on John Sterling territory there. Let's be careful. You're walking a very delicate line there.
Oh, I like it. I like it from Gary Hill. Everything he says is good.
Okay.
Yeah. Colt Emerson, it's funny. Is that two? It seems like his home runs get out of the park in a hurry.
Yeah, he doesn't hit the majestic fly ball, the kind of line drive home runs.
But, I mean, he's listed at 6 foot, 195. I don't buy it. He looks slimmer than that, and he's just not a big guy to generate that kind of power. It's phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, he, like you said, he looks really comfortable at third base, no question. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about his OPS is 908.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's holding his own, to say the least, and Young is out there playing stellar second base. Coming up with key hits in crucial moments, and just a lot of heads-up play defensively speaking, and you saw it last night.
And the 0-2 on the way to Beatty. Here she comes. Swinging a chopper right to Cole Young at second. Charges. Puts the tag on the runner that throw first, and it's going to be in time for the double play. Did he get the tag on him? Did the second base umpire call it out on Melendez coming down the line? Cole Young got to the quick two-hopper. He thought he had the tag on Melendez, then threw to Wisdom at first base for the 4-3 double play. The throw was wide. Wisdom had to keep his right foot on the bag, which he did, and it is a double play. They had to talk it over.
It was a heads-up play by him. I mean, just bang, bang. He fields the ball, runner's right there, tags him, spins, throws to first base. And we've seen him make some tremendous defensive plays so far this year.
Yeah, he is able to, as a very young guy, just slow the game down. I mean, in that situation, I think a lot of people would have panicked because that ball was getting there right and he executed it perfectly. But, it's funny when I watched it on slow-mo, just the look on his face. I think if that was me, I would have a look of terror on my face, and he always has the same expression. It's always just like, Yeah, he's very relaxed player, and he just sees things really quickly. That was an incredibly impressive play.
Yeah, and we've seen him do that a few times. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of good for a young guy again who's competing in his first full season, getting a taste last year. But yeah, just really, really good stuff from him. Meanwhile, Dan Wilson talking about that particular play after the game.
You know, what we've seen from Colt second's been fabulous, and that was a really heads-up play. I gotta believe he took a page out of Naylor's book from the other day too. You know, very similar kind of a play, his route just took him right to the runner. The ball took him right to the runner, and it was just a heads-up play all around. And that's what we've seen at second base a lot from Cole this year. You know, I think about the play back in Chicago that he kind of saved the game for the moment. On the bases loaded play, like he's done this so many times, and we talk about his slow heartbeat, and that was another moment where he just he did what he had to do to get the double play, and a huge moment.
He's got that slow heartbeat.
Yeah, it's funny. Afterwards, just his expressions and watching him, he hits the walk off, and at one point somebody put that gum bucket on his head, and then somebody came up and kind of hard tapped on the top of it, and he just kind of slowly like lifted it up, because I'm like, that thing could have like cut his nose or something. But he seems to. That's a good way Dan put it. He just slows everything down. He's so unlike a rookie, just because. For most guys, it's probably going really fast. If you haven't played at this level, everything is just on a different pace, and he's just so good at that. That was more impressive to me than the walk-off hit.
Yeah, he's getting it done, man, and it feels like you've got a young star in the making. We'll see ultimately what he is. I don't want to get the cart ahead of the horse here, but there's reasons to be excited about what you've seen from him to this point, and maybe you've got. Hopefully your long-term answer at second base, which you haven't had since Robinson Cano was here.
Yeah.
And, you didn't get him as a young guy and get him obviously through the bulk of his career. He had a good stretch with him. But, second base is kind of one of those positions you haven't had that obvious superstar the way we've talked about with other positions. We always talk about left field kind of being that hole where you never had the all-time great left fielder for the Mariners. You had guys you liked. You had Ibanez. You had McLemore. You had names out there you liked, but you haven't had the Griffey, the Mike Cameron. You haven't had the Ichiro or the Jay Buhner, in that spot. I'd say the same is true for second base. You had Harold Reynolds, you had Cano, you had Brett Boone, but nobody that's just an extended, just a long time, this is our guy year in, year out. And it looks like you've got the potential with Cole Young.
Yeah, so was Harold Reynolds homegrown? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. Or did he come over from San Diego? I can't remember. That's a little before me, but let's take a look. Why speculate, Dave?
Yeah. Well, and Cano obviously was not homegrown, but I'm just curious if
Brett Boone was not homegrown.
Boone, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's nice that we were worried about that position, like not entirely sure going into just go back to spring training and thinking, okay, well, we're just assuming that Cole Young is going to take care of business at second base and be good. And I thought, okay, well, if he's just a, good pedestrian type of second baseman, hits for a decent average, fine. You plug a hole, but he's turning into much more than that. And I think the way that we've talked about him, especially back in spring training, was always with a question mark. And now you look at, possibly him being one of the stars of this team.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. By the way, Harold Reynolds was drafted by the Padres in the 6th round in 1979, stayed. He didn't go to them, so the Mariners drafted him the next year in the 1st round.
Mm-hmm.
So so I knew the Padres were involved there somewhere, but so he played his whole career with the Mariners up until his final 2 years. Played in Baltimore in '93 and then California in '94.
Hey, by the way, speaking of with the gum bucket on his head and everything, is that Luke Raley that just went sprinting out there to celebrate?
Yeah.
Like, did you see how fast he was running?
Yeah, he can't wait to celebrate. He's excited to celebrate.
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I was like, whoa, that looks like different than going, first to second or second to third or whatever. I mean, he just looked
a little intimidating. Like, whoa, slow down, big fella. Slow down. He looks like he's going to take you out.
I'm always worried about that somebody's going to get hurt or their feet stepped on. with the cleats and everything.
Yeah.
You see everybody kind of dancing around like, don't step on my foot. But
One more from Cole quickly. This is him just explaining his approach on that final AB.
I feel like in that bat, this is the main thing. It was just, relax and just try to keep everything simple. Try to keep the approach simple. Really just put the ball in play. Helped a ton that Randy stole third right there about the infield end. So just made it a lot easier for me. And like I said, just put the ball in play and stay simple.
Stay simple. Keep that heartbeat slow.
And keep giving us answers like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up, the Seahawks handed out a big contract extension to a key member of the defense today. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
It's Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton here. And Bob, honesty and integrity really is what sets our sponsor, Dr. Mark Wagner at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, apart. I've been working with Dr. Wagner for a couple of years now. He was really straight with me. He told me, hey, look, your right knee needs replacement. And not all doctors will give it to you straight like that.
Yeah, that's when I went in to see him. I remember hearing you talk about it over and over, hearing the testimonials. I had problems with my hip for years, doing physical therapy, getting steroid injections. I thought I was looking at surgery, so I took all my imaging to him. He took a look at it and said, I can help you. It doesn't cure everything. I had multiple issues going on there. He said, but it will go a long way into helping you. And I would say he undersold that because it feels almost as good as new.
I'll tell you what, of all the testimonials, yours has been the most convincing because we're sitting there. I mean, typically I talk to people on the phone and they always have, positive things to say about Dr. Wagner. So
you saw me hobbling around here. I don't do that anymore.
That's right. I see that. So whether, it's a shoulder, a hip like Bob had, an elbow, an ankle, even wrist, and certainly a knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
70 and sunny this week, so get out on the water with ARC, the 100% electric boat. They're doing demos on Lake Union, Lake Washington, and Lake Sammamish. Book one and see what they're all about. I got to ride in the brand new ARC Sport, and it was unlike anything I've experienced. Think of a luxury EV on water, quiet, powerful, easy to operate, heated seats and seat backs, a large touchscreen display. Schedule your demo at arcboats.com/demo. If you can't make it to Kirkland, they'll pick you up. arcboats.com/demo.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafee, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. Improve your play with 25% off windows and doors or 12 months, no interest, and no payments. We're also giving back to the community with 2 $5,000 scholarships for our local youth sports teams. Upgrade your home today at PellaPNW.com.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
People can see through if it's not genuine. And it's genuine here. The Johnsons always talk about in orientation meeting. Their dad and grandpa, they always maintain that it's a people business. We're not here to sell cars and work on cars. That's what we do, but it's really about just helping people. Every month we have a new employee orientation meeting, and the Johnsons present. They can't get out to all the stores every day and meet everyone, but at least they get to shake hands with new employees every month in the orientation meeting. And they tell everyone there's not one car deal or one repair order that is worth tarnishing our reputation and ruining an experience for a customer. That just is really what is instilled.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes owed to the IRS. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, you may now be eligible for relief through current IRS initiatives for struggling taxpayers. In some cases, taxpayers may qualify to reduce as much as 99% of what they owe. You may already be experiencing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or audits and be unaware of this important information. Call Guardian Tax now to see what relief you may be eligible for at 800-404-7986. By taking action today, you may be able to stop all collections and resolve your tax problem before your tax problem gets worse. Tax experts are standing by to review your case and fight to slash your debt dramatically. Don't let your tax problem get worse and miss this time-sensitive opportunity. Check your eligibility with Guardian Tax now. Call 800-404-7986. 800-404-7986. That's 800-404-7986.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. People weighing in with who they think the great second baseman for the Mariners was, the last great one.
Joey Cora.
That's what Joe in Bellevue said. I'm going to go ahead and disagree. Joey had the yips. He had a problem getting the ball from second to first. So,
and he played second base.
Yeah.
And he had to throw to first a lot.
It happens. Yeah. It happens.
That's not a ringing endorsement from you. So
yeah, no, he was not. He was not somebody that I would say is one of their great second basemen. But yeah, that's all good. Weigh in with whatever you got. If you think Joey Cora was their last great second baseman, and it wasn't Cano, it wasn't Boone, it wasn't who else did we have? It's been kind of a nameless, faceless group of guys in between there.
Yeah,
which is what makes the idea of Cole Young being that guy to occupy that spot for years to come. Again, getting way ahead of things here, but there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about what we've seen with him. Meanwhile, Seahawks spending some money today. They signed Derick Hall to a 3-year extension. $42 million, could be worth up to $46.5 million, includes $21 million guaranteed. So he's under contract with the Seahawks through the 2029 season, which was, I don't know, we hadn't really talked about him in terms of contract extension. We've been waiting on Spoon. Mm-hmm. I would imagine we're going to hear about that hopefully soon, sometime. It doesn't, I mean, he's been out there, right? You've seen him out there, so it's not like he's holding out or he's mad or.
He was instructing all the young rookies how to line up and where to kneel on the line. And it's like, get back. And he was just constantly chirping at everybody, and everybody's kind of smiling. It's not like he's doing it like he's a coach, but he's just out there just constantly running.
Yeah, and it'll get done. I don't have any doubt about that. But Derick Hall's just not a guy we had talked about in relation to a contract extension, but he is a big part of what they do. And we talked about the fact that they don't really, I don't know, this contract to me doesn't represent the man kind of contract, right? He's certainly not, Max Crosby or Myles Garrett or somebody like that. Those are different deals. But I think this is in line with who he is and what he brings to the table, and shows obviously he's a necessity. They want him back. He's valuable to what they get done defensively.
Yeah, so he got $14 million, right, per year, and what did Boye get, 20?
Is that what he got? Was Boye
I want to say
20?
it was a 3 or $60 million deal. So
they're betting on that season they saw when he had, a sack in 7 consecutive games. And
yeah, I mean, and he's very talented, and wish him the best. I loved Boye Mafe. I just think Derick Hall is more, suited for this defense. And, it's kind of funny because there was a couple of times where I wasn't so sure whether or not he was going to fit in, because last year he got in that fight with Jaron Reed over on the sidelines. That was in the 24 season. And then was there something going on this year? I don't know if he was involved in that, but I know that he's like a very vocal guy, but it seems to fit in with whatever Mike Macdonald wants at that position. And so, there's lots of, even though he's a younger guy, I understand that there was a lot of D-Law and Jaron Reed and, talking to him and maybe telling him to maybe calm down a little bit and get some years under your belt before you start giving everybody advice and those kinds of things. But but all of it in a good way. All of it in a good way. Like, there was just lots of chatter from him. And he's a very unique guy. But all that doesn't really have anything to do with what he is doing on the field. I just thought, I wasn't sure he was one of their kind of guys, and the fact that they endorse him with this kind of $14 million contract. I also kind of like it that it's like you just said, he's really not a $20 million deal guy. No. He's not a 18. I think he's got a chance to make a little bit more than the 42, but
46 and a half, I think is what it said.
Yeah, and I just think, I don't know, I love that worked out, and I think also that, there's a little bit of it there that that the guys that, are willing to take that kind of money and kind of know who they are and not try to, go and, hey, I want $20 million just like Boye Mafe, are so valuable. And I think we talked about this with Sam Darnold, that, he's got a defense that kept him in a game in which he threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
So
he said it himself. We had no business being in that game.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's value to that. There's value to your environment. And, and so I think they really are getting up to the point where it's like $14 million. How could you turn down 20 somewhere else? It's like, yeah, we win Super Bowls. You can't buy that.
Yeah.
And you got a young coach here and just the environment and everything, and you like the place. And, it's a certain point. I think there are going to be, and I think this is an example of a guy that maybe could say, no, I'm going to play out my contract and see what I can do in free agency. But, they want to be there. And I think the dollar amount is getting to that point where guys are like, yeah, I'll take 14 and stay here where I'm happy, as opposed to waiting till next year and getting 18.
Yeah, and maybe he has a down year, and all of a sudden his market craters a bit. You run that risk as well. So you burden the hand. He knows the situation. He knows. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champ now. Knows they've got a very realistic shot of being in that conversation again, and he's going to make life-changing money. He's going to make he's. Barring being really just silly with all of his money, this is generational wealth. Maybe it's not at the level of, like we said, like Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or those guys, but he's doing just fine. He's in this, if he can stay healthy, won't be his last deal. It's a 3-year. It's a 3-year extension. So good on him, man. It's very cool to see that. And we had George Barnett, the offensive line coach of Iowa, on, and he was talking about, we brought him on to talk about Bo Stevens and Mason Richmond and all that, but he also just talked about what it is, in his opinion. He said the front seven, in his opinion, is what makes Mike Macdonald's defense so difficult for other offenses.
When you watch their defense play, obviously the front makes it go at times. Now I'm a line guy, so I'm naturally going to say that. But the use of their hands and being able to be unblockable at times, hard to block. It seems like things fall off of them. And then when you watch their defense, they can do multiple things, but they do such a good job of, when you watch them in their run fits and things like that, the D-line and the linebackers are in sync. And that's the hardest thing to do, because you can have good linebackers that play really well or good D-line that plays really well. But the great defenses, they're always in sync. They're playing off of each other. They know exactly where the other guy's going to be. The linebackers know exactly where the D-line's going to be, so he knows how to play off of him, and then vice versa. And I think that's what they do such a great job of there.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing that from an offensive line coach, that, that's tough when everybody's hitting their blocks at the same level. And I always talk about the difference between, having like a straight across fence or kind of a, back and forth picket fence. There's little gaps inside there if you're not all making contact at the same time. And sometimes that means your linebackers got to attack the line of scrimmage. And look, not taking anything away from EJ, but that is kind of one of the subtle little things about their defense that makes it, a little bit easier for the linebackers to have success. And and that's just something that comes with Mike Macdonald's defense and is kind of interesting. I always love, though, hearing, especially like from a guy that coaches offensive line, what makes Macdonald's defense so hard to play against. And there's a lot of different answers, So, it's something that can't really be duplicated, I don't think.
All right, coming up is one Seahawk gets an extension. A former Seahawk will now be doing something different this upcoming season. We'll get into that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcast.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today.
In addition to treating ED and Peyronie's disease, we now offer testosterone replacement therapy. With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Dave Wyman here with an interesting story. A woman was about to donate a box of jewelry, but her friend told her, take it to Bellevue Rare Coins first. She walked out with a check that far exceeded her expectations. Old jewelry, coin collections, gold watches, necklaces, and pendants. It's worth finding out what those items are worth during such a strong market. Before you give anything away, get it checked out at Bellevue Rare Coins in Bellevue, Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma. Go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
Your property is almost perfect, if it wasn't for that troublesome tree or stump. Stop looking at it and mowing around it. P&D Tree Service will remove it for you. If it's 1 tree or 15 trees, a small yard, or land clearing, P&D Tree will do it safely and quickly, turning multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. They'll clear trees and stumps away from homes, leaving a clean yard to enjoy. They specialize in large tree removal. Ever seen a tree removed by crane? PNDTreeService.com.
You bought an RV, and you got an automatic discount from Progressive by bundling it with your home or auto insurance. That's great, but a serious word of warning every RVer should heed. You don't need to talk about things like dry weight or dump stations. And you don't need one of those expensive water filter straws either. Because the most extreme thing most RVers encounter is a campsite without hookups. So just enjoy yourself and Progressive's automatic discount when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners looking to make it 8 in a row when they take on the Mets in Game 2 of their 3-game series this evening. They're going to send Logan Gilbert to the hill in the attempts to do that. Mariners taking Game 1 last night with just 4 hits on the night, but they were big ones, and they got it done in extra innings the third time out of the last 4 games. They've gone to extras, and they have won. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show, 6:40 first pitch. Right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, hours after sitting out individual drills during the Steelers' mandatory minicamp today, linebacker Nick Herbig and the organization agreed to a 4-year, $100 million contract extension, including $42 million guaranteed.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Mariners getting set to take on the Mets. Game 2 of that series coming your way. We'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 5:30. We got Jon Morosi joining us at the bottom of the hour at 3:30. Charlie Furbush in studio at 4 o'clock. And El Hombre, Michael Bradley, joins us at 5 p.m. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. A couple things going on in the world of the NFL. One involving a former Seahawk. That would be Russell Wilson, who, at least for now, is putting his career on pause. I haven't heard whether he's officially saying, I'm retired, I'm done. But looks like he's going to be on CBS this year doing some analyst work.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how he does. You never know really what you're going to get, and what kind of a voice is he going to have? Is he going to be critical? Is he going to be? I wouldn't think so. I think he was always a pretty positive guy, but. Yeah, he's had a very interesting career. Very interesting.
Well, when you look at his numbers, he's got Hall of Fame numbers when you compare him to others that are in the Hall of Fame. And I know that people out here have a love-hate relationship with him. And, at one point you weren't allowed to be critical of him, and now you're not allowed to say anything positive about him. So it's been an interesting turn for him. But when you look at where he ranks, and the guy's thrown for 46,966 yards, 353 touchdowns, 10-year career, obviously multiple-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ, all that. I'd say his numbers say he is. I don't know. It's a different process with the voters, somebody standing up and making a case for you in front of the other voters, which is a unique process, but we'll see.
Well, he won a Super Bowl, and he took him to another one. And, but I think that as time goes on, people are going to concentrate more on that pick that was thrown. And I don't know that he'll ever get as much heat for that as Pete is going to get for
the play call,
not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch. By the way, I have to admit that I have sort of vacillated on that now and I think Luke Wilson said the same thing, because I thought exactly like Luke, that, we're in 11 personnel and they were in goal line. That says throw the ball every time. But what kind of shook me out of that was that, when you look at the top three of the 50 Seahawks and how we'd take John Schneider and everybody you brought on the show to come out and say, hey, pick three. Mm-hmm. When I pick three, I pick Marshawn, just because I just think he's such a different player. He just, the style that he ran with and the strength and the explosion and everything was just so. What I've come around to is that, yeah, they're in goal line defense and we have, 3 wide receivers on the field, but Marshawn is in the game and he's going to get the ball. So, but there were a lot of people that weren't hearing that about what, Luke and I was talking about as well, that look, that says throw the ball every time. So, and, I just thought also that Malcolm Butler made maybe one of the best plays in NFL history, because he never bounced off of that. Yeah. Like he collided with the receiver and went right through him. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, when you look at it, like the physics just didn't add up. Look at the angle that he's taken. You'd think that he would get knocked off that ball. So anyway, and I think that a lot of it's going to come down to that. And, and then as far as here in Seattle, I mean, yeah, he took us to a Super Bowl. He took us into, and won, the game against Green Bay in the NFC Championship to get in the Super Bowl. They shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was a ridiculous comeback. So, yeah, I don't, from that standpoint, but then, I think Aaron Rodgers will get in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, he'll be first ballot. He should be.
But, he also, has done some things that that people didn't like. And, the thing that Russ did that people didn't like is that he demanded to be traded. So he wanted out. And he wanted John gone and he wanted Pete gone. So, that part of it kind of spoils a little bit of it. But, I think when you look at the numbers overall, that's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, his passing yardage is 5th most in the NFL since 2012, which is when he was selected.
47,000. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, he trails only Matt Stafford, who's got 56,000, Tom Brady, 49,000, Aaron Rodgers, 48,000, and Matt Ryan, 48,000. Mm-hmm. I'm just rounding the numbers. His passing touchdown total trails just Rodgers and Stafford during that time span. So he also ranks 4th amongst quarterbacks with 5,568 rushing yards, trailing only Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, and Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He's up there in all these categories. Whether you love him or hate him, that's fine. But if you're talking about a guy who's a 10-time Pro Bowl selection, 10-time Pro Bowler, I should say, and a Super Bowl winner, went back to the Super Bowl. He's still to this day, and we'll see how it all plays out. He's the greatest quarterback in the history of this organization. I think his numbers say he's a Hall of Famer.
I think also the fact that he got picked in the 3rd round. I love that story. I think it's cool. So that also might be part of it. But and I think the resentment towards him going to Denver and everything was pretty local.
Oh yeah,
right. It was people here.
Well, I think people in Denver didn't like him because it didn't work out at all. But then we saw a different side of Sean Payton out there too, and he took some of the heat. That was a weird situation out there.
The thing that was so weird about that is really at that time all Denver needed was a quarterback. They could not get a quarterback. They had good defense, good run game, all that, and it just didn't work out there. So, and I don't know. I don't know what. What other players around, because there was a fair amount of heat, and this is all Hall of Fame stuff.
Yeah.
But remember when he was doing the workouts on the plane and stuff like that? A lot of people, I think, thought he was phony, but, I don't, as long as your guys, are following you out on the field and you're a good leader. I mean, we know the Legion of Boom guys didn't like him, but, just because they thought he wasn't authentic. But these are all like personal things and people's personal aside type of stuff that, are detracting, I think, from him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with him. I can also see a nice homecoming at some point, and maybe they, put him in the Ring of Honor or something. Because again, you want to just go on achievements, he's worthy of it. But we'll see how it plays out for him as an analyst.
Yeah, what do you think? I mean,
I don't know. We were talking about it yesterday, just going, was he going to get out there and name everybody on the roster and heap praise on everybody the way he did as a player, which was the right way to do it, right? You don't leave anybody out. You're giving everybody their flowers.
Mike Leach used to do that. Every time we talked to him.
Yeah, he'd just run to the roster. He wouldn't give flowers. He would just name people. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see is he going to be critical? Is he going to find a way to balance that? I know guys that are very reluctant to do that, especially if he has designs on playing again, because he hasn't said this is it. Could be a 1-year reprieve, and maybe he pulls a Phillip Rivers and goes back, but he'd be younger than Phillip Rivers. Meanwhile, it sounds like the Rams traded for Myles Garrett because they can't accept the fact that they lost to the Seahawks. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob, it's Seattle Sports on 710.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, what if I told you a local credit union is giving members up to $30 per month just to make everyday purchases? It's Dave Wyman here, and when I heard about the offer from Harborstone Credit Union, I said, sign me up, man. And that's exactly what I did at harborstone.com/cash. And I'm not a big tech savvy guy, but opening a checking account was easy enough for me to figure out. So I'm sure you can do it. I got my PNW cashback checking account for free. No fees or minimums, and when I make everyday purchases with my Harborstone PNW cashback debit card, I earn up to $30 each month. And my wife loves it when I get cash back on gas, groceries, coffee, travel, lunch. All categories count towards your cash back, and you can even tap to pay. I figured that out too. So if you live, work, or worship in the state of Washington, sign up for a membership with Harborstone Credit Union and get the PNW cashback free checking account. Open your free account online, just like I did at harborstone.com/cash, or visit one of their 30 branches across the Northwest.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and Cruising Into Summer is back at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and so are some of the biggest acts in entertainment. Bingo Loco taking over Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel on Saturday, May 30th. Think bingo, but with DJs, dance-offs, prizes, and a full-on party vibe. Then Master Mentalist Colin Cloud brings his hit show, Colin Cloud Mastermind, to the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel Ballroom Saturday, June 13th. You won't believe your eyes. Tickets on sale now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Will?
When I was 50, my whole life fell apart. I lost my job, I lost my wife, I lost the house, I lost pretty much everything except for my life. When the IRS came calling, I just didn't have it in me. I felt like Wile E. Coyote, just waiting for that IRS anvil to drop.
Then Will found tax relief advocates.
I heard their advertisement on the radio, I wrote down the number, and I made the call that changed everything. The IRS gave me a bill for $40,000. Tax Relief Advocates got that down to $3,200. I've paid 9 cents on the dollar. Now that's a great deal in anybody's book.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Will did and call TRA for a consultation.
But for me, the real win is I got my life back.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-488-2578. 800-488-2578. That's 800-488-2578.
Jane Dawson did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With the money she saved, she got herself a pricey bird feeder with an ultra-high-def camera. Should Jane have just bought a regular bird feeder? Yes. Is it hard for her to admire nature when the camera doubles as the bird's potty? Also, yes. But it's Jane's savings, and if she wants to spend her time watching the digestive habits of the white-breasted nuthatch, we say you go, girl. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
A lot of discussion about the Myles Garrett trade, as you'd imagine today, on all those morning yammering shows where they just talk around a circle at each other. But Adam Schefter was on Get Up this morning, and he basically implies here that the Rams, and I'm going to put my spin on this, were kind of driven mad by the Charbonnet 2-point conversion ruling, and were determined to do everything possible to ensure that they were that much better than the Seahawks this upcoming season.
And let me throw in one other factor that I think lingers out there. Let's go back to maybe the most important play of the NFL season last year, when Zach Charbonnet, on a Thursday night Week 16 game, recovered a fumble in the end zone against the Los Angeles Rams to win that game. That game won the Seahawks the NFC West. That game won the Seahawks home field advantage. That game meant that the NFC Championship game was played in Seattle, and the Seahawks won that game and went on to win the Super Bowl. When the Rams felt that they were every bit as good as the Seattle Seahawks. Yep. When the Rams didn't win that game, they went into this offseason hell-bent on making moves to dethrone the Seahawks. And that led to them trading a first-round pick for Trent McDuffie, the cornerback from Kansas City. And that led to them continuing to badger the Cleveland Browns until they finally relented and traded Myles Garrett to the Los Angeles Rams yesterday.
Good. I hope it backfires. You're getting a guy who's been beyond dominant, Myles Garrett. We can only hope that he gets old this year. But you traded away draft capital, and more importantly, it ensures nothing. Certainly, you feel like if you're a Rams fan, you're excited. But the beautiful part will be that they spent this capital. They're bringing in a guy who makes a boatload of money. They sign Stafford to an extension, and if they don't win it, if they don't get there, it's all for naught.
We should have beat him 3 times. First of all, and then shame on them for not jumping on the ball. Obviously, Charbonnet had a great, Pee-wee football coach and high school football coach. Always get the ball, pick the ball. Remember, we had the official, former head of officials, that was just vehement about the fact that was a play. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter whether it's whistle dead, so everybody can just shut up about that. And then, like I said, you should have. And then they went, if they're trying to make an excuse because of that, and he references that and everything, they went and lost to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Okay, and then during the season, they also lost to the Carolina Panthers, which we didn't. So, I don't want to hear all the whining about how they're a better team. I just think that's going to be the narrative. Everybody's going to go in saying, okay, well, the Rams were close here and there, and they're going to be the number 1 team. I would say good. I'm glad. I think that's going to be motivating for the Seahawks. But I'll tell you what, the NFL is kind of setting up a pretty cool drama here, because that's not going to play out till the last, 3 weeks? We don't play the Rams until the last 2 of the last 3 games.
Yeah.
And so, if there's noise going back and forth and all of this kind of stuff, I think it's great. I think go ahead and build it up, but it's gonna take a while to get there. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how this next season ends up with. What does it go? Rams, then is it Panthers? Maybe, I'm trying to remember what the schedule was, but it goes Rams, a team.
You didn't commit it to memory?
Not yet.
Okay.
Sweeping the dial.
Yeah, we had heard that the Browns were opposed to trading Myles Garrett, but this was Browns GM Andrew Berry today explaining why they came around on finally trading him.
We looked at, what the trade details were. We asked ourselves, okay, do we hold here because of how emotionally right it felt, or do we ultimately make a decision that we think has a huge benefit, to the team in both the short, and long term? I'd always told myself that if we were ever in a position where we were going to trade Myles, 3 things would have to be true. Number 1, it would have to have short and long-term benefits. Number 2, as part of the trade, a young, cost-controlled star at a premium position would have to be included. And the third piece is that there would have to be premium draft capital. There's a very small set of deals that really satisfy those constraints. So when it got to the point with our negotiations with the Rams, when all those things were satisfied, it really caused us to take a step back and think about really think about the decision.
Do you think that that's really what he thought beforehand, or that's just what they got and then he explained that we have? Because, you could also make the case that he said, supreme or whatever word he used, draft capital. Well, if the Rams are that good, they're going to be picking at the end of the first, second, third round for the next few years. So, but
I think do the Browns now have 3 first-round picks?
Yeah, they have a lot. Can't keep track of all.
I'll screw it up.
Yeah.
They'll screw it up.
They'll draft 3 more quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. By all accounts, he didn't request a trade this time, Myles Garrett. So I don't know if he was looked at as disgruntled or anything, or they felt like we got to move this guy. Maybe Jared Verse, they're just looking at a guy, they go, we get a younger version. This guy's going to be a stud. He's already a 2-time Pro Bowler, and we're getting him younger. Garrett's going to be 31 this year, so maybe they're looking at that contract. I don't know. Verse, I'm just waiting to hear from him. I haven't heard a peep from him, and I got to believe he'll say the right things, but internally he's got to be thinking, seriously, I'm going to Cleveland? I was on a team that's favored to get to the Super Bowl and win it, and now I got to go play in Cleveland with who knows as quarterback?
I think he's going to be pissed off. Maybe that'll make him play better.
Potentially, yeah.
Sweeping the dial.
Oh, yeah, we haven't heard from Jared Verse yet. We did hear from A.J. Brown today. Today was his introductory presser with the Patriots. And one of the questions, well, no longer with the Eagles, but he got asked about his relationship with Jalen Hurts.
How would you describe your relationship right now?
Not as close as we once were. And I believe that's fine. It's like there's no bad blood. There's actually still a lot of love. I love him to death. I want him to succeed and accomplish all the things that he wants to accomplish. I didn't truly understand why our friendship became the public of the center of everybody's attention when it came to football, because, you know, looking back on it, you know, we haven't been as close as we were a couple years now, but that didn't stop anything. Mm-hmm. You know, we still competed, we still pushed each other.
Hard to understand what he said there in the beginning.
Yeah, the first part I was trying to figure that out, but yeah, I just assumed that it was all bad and negative.
Yeah, well, I think I heard him say there's no bad blood and they're friends and all that. I did see this quote from Jordan Mailata, their left tackle, who said, "Thank God it's over."
Is that right?
Yeah, and he's just talking about the situation. His quote is, "I think it's more of a, it sounds terrible, but like, thank God it's over. It was a slow pain of just, is he in or is he out? We didn't really know, and that really wasn't our focus as a team, our team, especially on offense." So, yeah.
I've always, you know, I don't know. A.J. Brown has always been a pain in the butt, and I've always loved Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, well, a guy that's that talented who's now on his third team, that tells you something.
Yeah.
He's loaded with ability. He's on his third team now. So, you know, it doesn't take a ton to connect the dots. Meanwhile, if a Mariners 7-game win streak wasn't reason enough to be happy, we know this next guy will put a smile on everybody's face. Jon Morosi is going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Bellevue Rare Coins, and I'm excited to be working with them again. And right now, we're seeing the price of gold at an all-time high. And here's what that means for you. Items you haven't thought about in years can be worth thousands of dollars. Old jewelry, coin collections, gold watches, necklaces, pendants. It's worth finding out what those items are worth during such a strong gold market. And even broken and used jewelry is more valuable than you think. The folks at Bellevue Rare Coins told me they had a customer stop by because they heard an ad on the radio and said, hey, what the heck? Let's just see what some of these things are worth. They walked out with a check that far exceeded their expectations. And Bellevue Rare Coins has now expanded to Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma. A local established business known for honesty and no pressure evaluations that help you get the most for your valuables. A lot of people don't realize how valuable some of these items can be that are laying around the house, so it's worth stopping in to find out. Bellevue Rare Coins is now in Bellevue, of course, Linwood, Issaquah, and Tacoma, or you can go to BellevueRareCoins.com.
This Friday, Masters of the Universe arrives.
That sword is going to show me the way home.
Power up your summer.
Hang on. It's about to get weird.
And experience the rise.
Take the sword. Protect them.
Of He-Man.
I have the power!
How does it feel to be the mighty warrior?
Pretty great.
Don't miss Masters of the Universe. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. Early screenings Wednesday. Everywhere Friday.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. With burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and local service, our promise to the Puget Sound remains the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Harry Douglas here to help you get in on the sweet life with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy. It's that classic throwback cotton candy flavor, but with 0 sugar and a 5-hour energy boost. I keep these with me so I can tackle that sweet tooth with a tasty caffeine kick and no guilty sugary aftermath. Bring on the sweetness with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shots. Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you own your own business, you own every decision.
Catch the red eye or take the 6 a.m.
Make a new hire or promote internally.
Celebrate a win with the toast at the gate or unwind at the lounge. Big props to this team.
Some decisions are a win-win, like earning 8 times points on Chase Travel. Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business, the business card that gives back all you put in. Visit chase.com/reserve business to learn more. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member of FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more weighting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José de Ríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
Well, this is a bummer. We can't see him, but we can hear him, by God. He's with us each and every week. We look forward to these conversations with the one, the only Jon Morosi, who is here with us. Hello, John.
How's it going, Bob and Dave? So I at least, even though you can't see me, I promise you the story as to why you can't see me. So you can hear we've got our usual strong audio connection, which Mike has very diligently made sure that we have. The reason why I don't have my usual video set up is I rushed into the house because today was our final soccer practice of the season that I was coaching. Oh. Now, for the final practice, and mind you, our team consists of 15 second graders, okay? 15 second graders. And what we do is at the end of the season, we play what we call the showdown of the Bengals. The Bengals is the name of our team. It is the Bengals showdown. It is the parents against the kids, okay? Ooh. And so we have this, and if you can imagine the chaos. Of course, there's no subs in this game. So we've got all 15 kids plus all their parents and some of their siblings running around the same soccer field. And it is up to me to decide when we've had enough. And my big cue today that we had enough was one of my dear friends, Alex, was in a great position right in front of goal, and he just kind of probably forgot for a second where we were, what we were doing, and he sent a screamer that came within about an inch of not just clipping one, but two kids. And I said, and we're done. That's the end of the game, everybody. And miraculously, it ended in a 1-1 draw. So well played, 1-1 draw. that was that again. I had to I looked at the clock and I said, "Oh boy, we got to wrap this thing up." And then 2 of my players almost got flipped upside down by one ball, and I said, "You know what? We're just going to call it good. I got to rush back, talk to Bob and Dave and Mike, and we're going to call it at the end of the season." So that is how our season ended. So I thought that even though you couldn't see me describe that you would at least appreciate the story behind it.
Oh, I can picture it, definitely. It kind of sounds like Ryan Rowan Smith sending pickleballs, zipping at his son's head.
Yeah, I'm picturing Peyton Manning on SNL just throwing fastballs at the kids and hitting them in the back.
But you know what, though? That's the joy of coaching, is that it inspires all those great memories. There was one time, and I promise this is the only time I'll ever reference anything I've done athletically. This is before we had kids, probably like 10, 15 years ago now, like 15 years ago now, that I was asked to be the all-time quarterback for like a 12-year-old birthday party at Michigan Stadium. So there's this team of 12-year-old kids, and I'm like the all-time quarterback, trying to keep it even, and like we'd been playing for an hour. Okay, last possession, I'm scrambling, and I'm like, oh, this is great, man. I'm feeling like I'm back in high school. This is good. And I zinged the ball, and they're pretty good. And the kid caught it, but the ball, it was more like the ball caught him than he caught the ball. Yeah. And so the kid like gets up and he's like doing the quiver lip, like, I was like, oh no. Like I knocked the wind out of the kid. Because again, like it wasn't that, I mean, my arm's not that good, but the kid's 12. Okay. So, but I just kind of temporarily forgot where I was and what I was doing. And it happens to the best of us. It's the joy of coaching sports.
I love it.
I just said I was a little bit nervous about that.
When the lip starts to quiver, you got to jump into action.
Like, oh no,
you're okay.
Oh, no.
You're okay.
Give those hugs and say it's going to be all right. This is going to pass. I promise.
Well, John, let's talk some baseball. Let's talk about a red-hot Seattle Mariner team, the hottest team in baseball right now, with a 7-game win streak, and they are 2.5 games ahead of the Texas Rangers. What do you make of the turnaround? They've won 8 of 10. We've seen them. They had a 6-12 record in one-run games. They were 1-3 in extra innings. And now they've won 3 of the last 4 games, all going into extra innings. I mean, everything has just sort of turned for this team against good teams like the Diamondbacks, like the A's. I know they beat the Mets last night, but what's your overall take on what you've seen during the stretch?
Well, first of all, I know somewhere in the tape, and Mike is dutifully looking for this right now, when we talked about the piggyback last week and the communication, et cetera, I believe my direct quote was, "Don't worry, there's going to be a game on Sunday where they're both going to pitch 5 innings, they're both going to be great, and the Mariners are going to win in extra innings." That's exactly what's going to happen. And lo and behold, it's exactly what happened. No, I didn't say that exactly. But we did think that, you know what, this has a chance to work. And I'm quite confident that when that game was over, the Mariners win the walk-off. And I'm sure somewhere Justin Hollander and Jerry Dipoto are saying, see? It works. It works perfectly, and it did. They both got their work in. They both got 5 innings, and I think that just typifies where they're at. Listen, big picture on this is that when you have a team that can pitch, this is what happens, and this is why I think we had played the game and talked about this before. The difference between how we felt about the Mariners, the Blue Jays, the Tigers, the quote-unquote slow-starting teams that were in the playoffs last year, and when were they going to turn it around? My feeling has always been the Mariners are the best of those 3 teams because of the way they pitch. And the pitching will allow them to not go into prolonged losing streaks, and similarly gives them the chance at a prolonged winning streak. And that's exactly where they're at right now. They've integrated some young talent into the group. The bullpen has evened itself out. And again, as much as the piggybacking thing was a bit of a controversy, and still is to some extent, what it did on Sunday was you had a well-pitched game for 10 innings in which only 2 pitchers touched the baseball. That's really hard to do. So I think by and large, the Mariners are doing the things we knew they could do on a more consistent basis, even as they've been missing their most important player for a substantial portion of the year.
You know, I looking at the box score right now. I felt like that was just a perfect, the way it worked out last night. So Hancock comes out, gives up 2 solo home runs. That's it. Has 7 strikeouts, gets his quality start. 6 innings, 2 hits, and then 2 earned runs, and then it goes Ferrer, and he doesn't allow a hit. Then it goes Brash. I guess it would have been, more poetic if it finished with Munoz, but it went Munoz, then Spire. I mean, that's like a perfect. That's exactly I feel like what they've envisioned. I don't know about Hancock, but as far as the bullpen goes, it's just fantastic. I mean, it just looks perfect and exactly like they drew it up that way.
4 hitless innings from the pen, and when you get that kind of work, it really it really has a way of spreading confidence for the whole team. And I'm glad you mentioned Spire too, because he went almost a full month without pitching in the major leagues, and I think that to me is an important absence to note. That until he got back, you really didn't have your full complement. Now you've got 2 lefties that you trust at the end of the game. Brash has been almost unhittable this season, honestly, effectively at an all-star level. He's pitched 18 games, a .60 ERA, a .80 WHIP. I mean, no one's getting on base against that guy right now. And Munoz, again, wobbled early a little bit in this season, but has been much better of late. A lot of swing and miss in that bullpen. So you might still say, sure, you're always looking to improve the pen. It wouldn't surprise me if they add someone from the outside, but the Mariners are the best kind of team in the sense that yes, you want to add a reliever because everybody always does, but you're not out there looking for a starting pitcher. If the ideal position player presents himself, you can look at it, but I would also say that the Mariners would probably tell you that they have done a lot of their deadline work for 2026 at the preceding deadline and last offseason with the additions of Naylor and then more recently Donovan. At this point, if you were to tell me that Donovan would only play 25 games this point in the year and that Raleigh would only play 41 and they'd be in first place and gaining momentum, that's a pretty good situation to be in, where internally the improvements will come. And let's also talk about what Colt Emerson has done and his ability to make a very successful adjustment to the major leagues. Obviously, as a left-handed batter, when you're playing the infield and you're having 908 OPS as a rookie, really impressive. And I got to tell you this on Colt Emerson. Had a wonderful conversation today with Brad Barclay. Brad Barclay was Emerson's high school coach at John Glenn High School in Central Ohio. How about that? So I reached out to him last week. I said, you know what, I'm going to see the Mariners in Detroit this weekend, at least on Sunday, and I wanted to have a little background on Colt. So just heard a lot of great stories, and you're both going to love this. He truly played football for 3 full seasons there in high school at John Glenn High School and intended to play for his senior year too, all the way through, until he got picked for Team USA Baseball, which took him away for that summer leading into his senior year of high school. So a true multi-sport star from a small town in Ohio, and man, does he look the part right now in the big leagues with the way he's playing for the Mariners.
Yeah, we were just talking about sort of the youth movement beyond Julio, still 25 years old, just turned 25 in December. So he's part of it, but this is the next phase where you're seeing Colt Emerson and Cole Young, who doesn't get a lot of shine. He doesn't have that contract that Colt Emerson does, yet he's out there making spectacular defensive plays. He's looked rock solid defensively, and offensively he's come through in some big situations. He's hitting around 250 right now.
Right.
He just looks like and this is his first full season, got a taste last year, certainly had his struggles, but he just looks different now, and he looks like a guy we're watching the beginnings of what could be, again, emphasizing could, be your long-term answer at second base, which is something the Mariners have really never had.
Well, you're right. And when you think about it, they now have 3 everyday players who are 25 and younger. Again, Emerson, it's brief, but it sure looks like when he's up, he's going to be playing every day. So you've got Julio in his age 25 season. Young is in his age 22 season. Emerson is in his age 20 season. I mean, he's a kid.
Yeah.
Look at the way he's playing right now. It's really remarkable. And the numbers, when you talk about wins above replacement, which, again, doesn't tell you everything, but it does tell you a little bit, the wins above replacement leader among position players for the Mariners, interestingly enough, is Arozarena, followed by Young. So those have been the best 2 players on the team. And part of that is the next stat I'm going to give you, which is one of my other favorite stats on the Mariners, is that you've got 3 guys that have played in every single game. Arozarena, Young, and Julio. And obviously when Cal has been in the lineup, he's a constant presence. Naylor has missed a handful of games, but he is a constant presence. It's the same group. And I love the idea of that identifiable core, guys that are durable, who are consistently available. I got to go back and check this out. And you're giving me some homework assignments, or maybe I'm giving myself homework assignments here as we're talking about this. But two things that I'm going to look up here at some point in time, and maybe if our listeners have ChatGPT open, they can help us on this. But I wonder, who was the last second baseman at 22 years of age or younger to play on pace for more than 155 games? I mean, I'm giving him the grace that maybe he'll miss a few games here and there, but even 150 games, even 145 games, to be a middle of the order, a middle of the diamond player at that age for Young. And the other part, and you're making me think about this, is my dear friend and colleague Harold Reynolds, is he the all-time starts leader at second base for the Mariners? I got to figure this one out too.
I think he might, his starts he might be, because I think he played 10 years here, which is more than we were talking about. Cano and Joey Cora and Brett Boone and those guys, who I think Cano was probably their best defensive second baseman they've had, but he was here for what, 5 seasons, I think?
Right.
Something like that. So, yeah.
I'm going to look at this. So this, one of my favorite pages, and again, if you're driving, please don't do this. But one of my favorite pages to go back and look at on Baseball Reference is they have a page of all-time opening day lineups for a particular franchise, right? Mm-hmm. And so opening day starts at second base for the Mariners. Here you go. You've got Harold is the leader with 6. And then you've got 3 guys tied at 5: Cano, Boone, and Jose Cruz. How about Jose Cruz back in the early days there, late 70s, or Julio Cruz. So Julio Cruz 5 in a row. So Julio Cruz was 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. So again, Harold's the leader at 6. But the thing that stands out to me as we're talking about this year with Young as a starting second baseman, in the last 8 years, they've had 8 different starters at that position. They went D. Strange Gordon, Shed Long, Dylan Moore, Adam Frazier, Colton Wong, Polanco, Ryan Bliss, and Young. 8 different starters in 8 consecutive years. And again, I'm glad you made that point, because there is something to be said for consistency up the middle. That those are your guys, and that you know that they're going to be there every single year. So I like that. It's been 8 different guys in the last 8 years at second base, but I tend to think that we're going to see Young's name on that screen a whole bunch of times, and only 5 more to go before he catches Harold.
There you go.
Hey, by the way, I just was looking up JP, because you mentioned Colt Emerson playing football. And I haven't been able to get through because I'm trying to pay attention to the interview. But Mike Varell wrote about it. He got kicked out of a game for targeting in football. Colt Emerson. Colt Emerson knocked somebody out, apparently, and I'm sure it was a perfectly legal hit. Yep. And, he got kicked out of a game for targeting.
Yeah, that's and by the way, I love this. Not that he was kicked out of the game, but I love the football conversation, because you'll love this detail too. And by the way, I'm more than happy to share offline. I'll get Mike Brad Barclay's contact. Hopefully, you guys can have him on the show at some point, because Brad. And this is a very small town Ohio perfect thing. He was the varsity baseball coach and an assistant football coach, which is just the way that it should be, okay? Yeah. And so Brad was telling me that Colt Emerson was a DB, a wide receiver, also a kicker, and a rollout punter. and my 2 favorite details here. Brad tells me that if Colt for whatever reason did not hit the ball into the end zone for a touchback on the kickoff, he most often made the tackle. So you always love it when the kicker is also the gunner, which doesn't happen very often in football, but he was both. I just love that note. He's also the guy to go right for the ball. And on the punts, I love this optionality here. There's a little football nerd in me still. He's a rollout punter, and if the defense was not containing him enough on the rollout punt, he'd just keep the ball and run for the first down. I love it. I mean, that is just but that's when you're the best athlete on the field. You could do stuff like that. So that just tells you that you got an elite athlete there in Colt Emerson.
Well, I think he just became my favorite Mariner.
He's your favorite Mariner. And again, we got to get Brad Barclay on the station to talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, John, so looking ahead, the Mariners are now going to go to his 6-man rotation. The piggyback will be put on the shelf, at least for the time being. They got a long stretch of games here. So I'm wondering if you anticipate that this could have any adverse effect on, you got guys going back and forth. They started with a 6-man, did it once, then they went to the piggyback. Now they go 6-man again, and what you're doing is messing with guys' routines. And know baseball players and pitchers above anybody are married to their routines, and now you're you're vacillating back and forth. Do you see this being something that's still advantageous? I feel like we're all doing this to keep Castillo in the mix here, and he certainly pitched better in the piggyback situation than he did when he had his own starts. Now he's going to get his own starts, but what do you think of the back and forth between now 6-man, which is what is coming, and the piggyback situation?
And I again bring up the example of the Dodgers last year, who had 17 different starting pitchers. And so when you've got 17 starters, by definition, guys are getting knocked off their routine every time, all the time, and they still found their way to be able to win the World Series. So I think that the piggyback has its place in time, and the 6-man rotation has its place in time. What I like about the piggyback now in retrospect is that it proved, and the way that Castillo has pitched, proved that it can work, and that for Luis, it for whatever reason, and I'm not sure that it's always going to be the case, but for whatever reason, it has brought out a better level of performance from him. That since moving to that role, he's been better. You look at, it's been now basically 11 1/3 innings, and he's only given up 3 earned runs. And it's like his stuff has ticked up a little bit. The strikeout rate seems to be a little bit better. So in general, if you've now helped to restore Castillo's confidence, and to your point, this actually affirms the idea that the stated goal of this was to get the best version of Castillo that you could. However you did it, if it made him angry, sometimes making a really good athlete angry is actually a good thing, because they want to show you what they can still do. He has done that. And the way that he has performed shows that. I think that by giving guys the extra days, and this is what the Mariners can say, is like, listen, it's a long year. We're now in first place. We believe we're going to be playing into October. Now it's our job to not just win games, but to get the healthiest version of Gilbert and Wu. And remember, the other thing that we've alluded to at different times is that Hancock will need extra days at some point. He's as much as everybody loves the guy, it's probably not fair to expect he's going to be every 5th day all season long. And let's remember this, we're not that far away. I mean, it's a month away or so from the All-Star break, when the Mariners, I'm sure, are going to try to take that opportunity to maybe back off of Hancock. Maybe they're going to skip him a start. Maybe they'll option him down for a little bit just to get him a little bit of a break and have him not pitch for a while and use the All-Star break as the opportunity to do that. That's what I think we could see happen. And again, if you're going to skip him around that time, you got to make sure you've got the starters that allow you to skip him, and that means that Castillo has to be going.
Hey, I'm looking at Luke Raley, man. I mean, only 152 at bats, and if you look where he's ranked, I think he's tied for he's number 22 as far as home runs in Major League Baseball, and I think it's only Juan Soto has less than 200 at bats. Well, actually, Max Muncy has 178, but just really impressive what he's doing right now. And you look at the RBI for the Mariners, and then those home runs. What do you think about Luke Raley's career? Then is it sustainable, or the season that he's having?
Yeah, I think he's, and this is where I give credit first of all to Luke, and then second of all to Dan Wilson, coaching staff, front office too, probably, to help figure out what the best matchups are for him. But let's be clear on this. When you are the left-handed side of the platoon and you are slugging like this, you're going to get a lot of opportunities. And if you look at how many times he's now been playing, he's been in there, I think more. He's starting to get more and more starts. He's in there more consistently. He's earned more playing time. You're right. Right now he's that outlier where he's the classic guy. And when I was covering the Tigers, it was always Marcus Timms. It was always his home run rate, like number of at bats per home run, was always right there with Albert Pujols, for example, but he just didn't have the same number of at bats. And so Raley is that guy that that the fans are going to want to see more of. And to be honest with you, he's earned that opportunity. And when you're lefty bat, you're facing a lot of righties and you're producing, he's going to get more and more chances. He, to me, is, is he going to ever get 650 plate appearances in a season? Probably not. But man, he's building up a really nice reputation to where he is a much more trusted player than he was in the past. And you go back and again, I'm not saying he's going to have his career, but look at the from age 20 until 27, 28 for someone like a Raul Ibanez. Raul never really had a chance to play every day until he was much later. His 30s were better than his 20s. And rarely might be the kind of guy that has that type of career where the power clearly plays, and he's got he backspins the ball exceptionally well. There's some good loft in his swing, but he's just hitting the ball hard now. And earning more playing time. He's getting more playing time. I'll be surprised if there are many starts in the next couple weeks where the Mariners face a righty and he is not in the starting lineup.
Real quick, we're late for the break here, John, but I got to ask you, I was looking at the TV earlier. We got it on MLB Network, and there were just multiple trade proposals they were putting up there, Greg Amsinger, Harold Reynolds, talking about for Tarik Skubal. And they were talking about here's what the Yankees would give up. Here's what the Dodgers would give up. Is he going to get traded?
I think it's at about a 60-40 yes that he does. The Tigers, they've just had a dreadful season. And let's put it this way. They're a worse team now than they were 2 years ago when they very clearly were prepared to trade him, and he had 2.5 years of control left. And so if they were ready to trade him back then, they're certainly ready to trade him now in the right situation. I think that obviously the Mariners might be the one rare team that you would say it just doesn't make sense for them to give up something of value, or at least to meet the price the Tigers are going to demand for Skubal, given that the Mariners already have enough starting pitching. But I would not have given you this answer 3 weeks ago, but the Tigers have continued to struggle, and he has continued to get better in terms of his health to where he might be back in the major leagues this month. So I've got 60-40 yes, and my mom, I'm sure, is calling me right now to complain about why I just said that on the radio.
Well, we don't want to upset her, but we appreciate your candor.
Yeah, you got it.
John, as always, great stuff. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk next week.
You got it. And I'm glad that the perfect timing here that I got a chance to relay all the reasons from Colt Emerson's high school football and baseball coach as to why he is now the favorite of the Wyman and Bob Show now.
That's right. These days, Cal has been supplanted, and Dave's new favorite player is Colt Emerson. It's a minor upset. Thanks, John.
All the best, guys. Thanks so much.
JP.
There you go. Jon Morosi with us. Our conversation with Jon Morosi is presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. We know Charlie Furbush has a lot to say about the CBA negotiations happening in baseball, the Mariner, everything else. He's going to join us to talk about all of it. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
June is Men's Health Month, and Swedish Cyberknife is encouraging men to break the stigma and talk about their own health with family members and medical professionals. Find out about your family medical history, as conditions like prostate cancer can increase your risk. When detected early, prostate cancer has several viable treatment options, and one of the most effective treatment methods for prostate cancer is offered at Swedish Medical Center right here in Seattle. And Swedish Cyberknife requires only 5 short treatment sessions, each lasting less than an hour. It's non-surgical, non-invasive, and patients can typically maintain their usual day-to-day lives. And this June, during Men's Health Month, make sure to place an emphasis on discussing your health with family and medical professionals. Ask about family history of medical conditions or disease. To learn more about Cyberknife for prostate cancer treatment, go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate, or you can give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Hon, is your new pinball machine in our budget?
KeyBank will meet you in that our money is now our money moment.
Actually, our banker Steve recommended we start a joint checking account for bills and keep our individual accounts for things like, pinball machines.
Did someone say Banker Steve? I was in the neighborhood, in case you had any checking account questions.
Steve, you're always there for us. Now, how quickly can we open that account?
Steve, are you seeing this?
For every financial need, we'll meet you in the moment. KeyBank opens doors. KeyBank, member FDIC.
Hey, when was the last time you inspected your crawl space or your attic? What's the last time you went in there just to see what kind of shape they're in? Oh, never? Yeah, same. I don't want to go in there. Most homeowners completely avoid those areas, but it is important to check on them regularly. It's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and go where you don't want to. Hey, it's Mike Salk here. And yes, when Crawl Pros came out to my place, they realized we had a little problem with our insulation. So they've set about fixing it, and they did a great job. But if you've got the same problem, they'll also look to see what kind of energy rebates are available. Right now, local utility companies are incentivizing homeowners to make their home more energy efficient with proper insulation. And some homes qualify for several $1,000s in savings with these utility rebate programs. So don't just assume your crawl space and attic are in great condition. Do what I did. Call Crawl Pros today and schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection and find out if you've got water intrusion, mold, rodent issues, or even damaged insulation. Schedule your crawl space and attic inspection at crawlpros.com.
Everything that matters is at stake in a divorce. Your home, your savings, your children. For many of our clients, a divorce was unwanted. This is Rick Jones. At Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men, our team of experienced attorneys handle every aspect of a divorce and custody case. When stakes are high, you need a lawyer you can trust. Husbands and fathers trust Goldberg Jones. Visit us at goldbergjones.com to get your questions answered at no charge. That's goldbergjones.com.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners are the hottest team in baseball, having won 7 in a row, looking to stretch that to 8 tonight in Game 2 of their series with the New York Mets, who are in town for a 3-game set. Logan Gilbert taking the hill tonight. You can catch all the action starting at 5:30 with a pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at the scoreboard, games going on right now. Tigers jump out to a 4-0 lead over the Rays in Tampa. That one in the top of the second. No score between the Phillies and Padres in Philadelphia in the bottom of the second, bottom of the first. Red Sox up 1-0 on the Orioles. Top of the second in Washington. No score between the Marlins and the Nationals.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We look forward to this each and every week, having this guy in studio with us for an hour talking baseball. Former Mariner reliever, now baseball analyst Charlie Furbush is here with us. How are you, man?
So good.
Why is Charlie so much bigger than us? Look at that.
Oh, man.
He's a giant.
I do. They zoomed in.
Wow, you're huge. He's like 6'9" and a half.
What about when he's standing on the mound? He's got to be like 10 feet in the air.
You know what? If you look at the StatCast, Dave, I had comparable extension to Logan Gilbert.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'5".
6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like 5 inches beneath Gilbert. I think he's like 7'6" on extension. I'm 7'1".
Can we make him a little bit smaller than us?
There we go.
Actually,
shrink him down.
There we go.
Be part of the LP community.
Put you in your place.
I came in and you and Lefko were yelling at each other, screaming. We had to pull you apart.
That's right.
But screaming about the billionaires and millionaires facing off against you. The CBA is the negotiations are happening. Each side has made a proposal, and who was it? Was it Morosi talking about the distance between them? If you equated it to a football field where you had to meet in the middle, each side had their heels on the goal line. Like there was literally 100 yards between them, saying they're not close. What's been your take on the proposal, and B, why is Lefko wrong?
Well, as a former player rep for the team with the Mariners from I guess the offseason of 11 all the way through my tenure at the end of 16, and got to see the CBA in action, got to see negotiations in action up close, and the first round of negotiations are kind of a wash. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, okay, well, everyone throw out their most greedy offer, and then we'll get back to actual negotiating. So the one thing that I will say, typically you wouldn't see kind of these proposals out in the open so early.
Yeah,
you kind of wait until the end of the season, off season, and you kind of have back and forth daily, weekly negotiations with them, and it seems like it's a little bit more public right now than normal. But
what's that tell you?
It tells me what it's always told me, and this goes back to R.I.P. Michael Weiner, our player director of the union. He passed away, and then Tony Clark took over, and now Dan Meyer, and it tells me what it's always told me. And this has been, unfortunately as it may be, it's going to be a little bit of a PR battle, right? And I think that trying to get ahead of the curve and shout out to the union for coming out with a proposal right out the gate, right? I think that's something that they typically haven't done in the past. So especially this early, and you kind of have to play that PR game because there's going to be a bunch of opinions on this billionaire versus millionaire battle, and who's right, who's wrong. I don't know. I think there's various ways of looking at it. I think to get to the Lefko side of things, maybe he's coming across a little bit pro-owner, where I'm a little more pro-player, and I think that...
Well, Lefko's rich. That's why he's...
Oh, must be, yeah.
That is exactly it. All my billions.
That's
I just
right.
want to hold on.
Yeah, by the way, what do they call us? We get billionaires, millionaires, or
thousandaires.
Thousandaires?
That's right.
Is that what we call?
Yeah.
In radio?
I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Is that thousandaires? Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the PR battle is just going to be something I think all of us are going to watch throughout the next 6-7 months. It's like it's going to be kind of this back and forth. Okay, well, here's the proposal, and then we sit here and we talk about it, and we go, "Oh, this looks good," but then the other side's like, "That's the worst proposal I've ever seen." So it's it's such a tug of war, and I'm very hopeful that everyone realizes that having a work stoppage, having any sort of real hiccup here is going to be bad for everyone involved. So trying to continue to have these conversations on the forefront, so you can both sides, like both people can be to win. I think that's going to be the hard thing, is that in these negotiations, it always feels like, well, if you lose in one area, can you win in another? And I think that's just going to be this constant battle, and how much gets released to the public will be very interesting to see.
Yeah, a couple cuts here. This from A.J. Pierzynski on Foul Territory. Kind of goes on a rant about the MLB owners proposing a salary cap / salary floor.
But they don't have money. They can't afford. But the $99 million Marlins can't afford, barely survive. David Sampson and all his crap he just spewed about how we can't afford it. But now all of a sudden every team can afford 171. Come on, man. This is some bull crap, man. I'm sorry. I know he just spewed for 20 minutes about how him and the Marlins couldn't afford, to keep the team around and this and that. They had the money to pay him the contracts originally, and now the players went at 150, and now the owners say 171, and 240 is the cap now, hard cap. Like, come on, this is why this negotiations take so long. This is kind of ridiculous. I'm not going to say just from the owner, kind of from both sides, but this is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. When you look at the Marlins, according to Spotrac, so best estimation, they have the smallest salary in the league at $81 million. And if they go by the owner's proposal, all of a sudden they're going to be spending $171 a year when they've been crying poor the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he's got a fair point here. You got owners going, all right, we don't have that kind of money, and now you're part of the group that's proposing. We want a cap, but we're going to put in a floor here, and it'll be 170. All of a sudden, they're going to this found money. Where does that come from?
Take out a loan, right? I mean, but it goes back to the point, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of a wash, these first two negotiations. Like, neither of them are going to be agreed upon, right? It's going to be some hybrid model of this. So that's where it's like, all right, well, let's hear your wish list, and I think that's where, both sides are going to say, well, these are non-starters, right? We need to figure out a way to get back to the table and get to an agreement. And they've done it in the past. They can absolutely do it again. And I would imagine the players will continue to stand on that no salary cap podium and say, yeah, we're not leaving this. So we'll figure out another way. We'll sacrifice other things, but we are not sacrificing that because it's taking money away and earning potential away from all future big leaguers.
Well, and real quick, David, just one more here on this. Jeff Passan explaining why players are mad about the salary cap proposal.
They would be adding hundreds of millions of dollars on the bottom. They also would be taking away hundreds of millions of dollars on the top. And that's where, to players, this becomes an offensive thing, right? Like I think players understand that nobody is ever going to feel bad for guys who are making millions of dollars a year getting less money. And that's the difficulty in the messaging here for the players.
What do you think?
I was going to ask you, the one thing that stands out to me is, like, if you enforce both of those things, like, how do you get there? Like, what is the implementation for, getting your salary, level up to where a floor is? Like, for the Marlins, what would we say it was going to be?
They're at $81 million, according to Spotrac,
and they wanted it 170. So around
171,
190. Around $90 million that you have to infuse into your. They have to
double their payroll,
right?
More than double it.
And then the same thing on the other side to stay under the cap. That's what kind of fascinates me is, do you think that that's going to, if let's say it does work out that way, that is it going to be like a 3-year ramp up, or you have 3 years to get compliant or whatever? Because you can't just all of a sudden, how are they going to add $90 million to their roster?
Well, I think that's where, you look at, and I go back to the loan comment. It's like, all right, well, the evaluation of your organization is worth X dollars. Okay, I'm going to go to the bank. I'm going to take a loan out, right? And know that in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, guess what? Your organization is now worth more money. Like, look at the trajectory of owning a sports team in the last 30, 40 years. It's like it's sitting on a lottery ticket for how much money it's worth. So I think the owners sit here and say, oh, how do I come up with the money? Like, there is a way to come up with the money, and there is a way to navigate it. Yeah, maybe the first year is a little jarring, but what's going to happen in that scenario is that everyone is going to make more money. So the value of this middle reliever that gets $1 million is now worth $4 million. Like, I think that's going to be like the other hard thing is like, oh, is this really what he's worth? But then on the other side, And that's where I think the offensive comment is like, all right, well, so the Juan Soto contract doesn't exist. The Ohtani contract doesn't exist. Like, look at all these big contracts that exist. They wouldn't exist in this future system. You're telling everyone that you can only make so much money playing in the sport. But guess what? Our organization will continue to make money. We will try and maximize our revenue. And if we ever sold the team, we're definitely going to sell it from where we bought it with. So why don't we take money away from the players and we'll just take all the money ourselves, owners? So it's a really tough situation where the owners are saying, no, we want to control salaries because we want to control the players. We want to put, guardrails on this situation when in a lot of ways, even more so, Dave, it's like I've heard this time and time again. Doesn't the NFL stand for not for long? Right? Like, because it's really a difficult place to play over years because there's so many injuries and whatnot. It's like, well, you want to maximize your earning potential while you're playing. And it's like, why isn't there a situation set up to be like, all right, well, you have been doing this your whole life and you've invested everything into it. And then suddenly you're in a situation where, and especially if you look at the future of the game, look at the future young kids of the game that come up and they go, oh, well, suddenly I can only make so much money. Like, why? To take care of, I just think when you look around the rest of the leagues, the rest of the unions, I think the baseball just has it right now. And I know to a lot of people it may not look that way, but I think when you look inside that union and the players involved and the history, they are so united. And these are certain things, and that's what Passan said. They're offensive. Like, hey, we're not going to talk about that. We can negotiate all these other things, but that was something that was pre-negotiated back in the day, and we are not going to let go of that.
Yeah, I can't remember who we were talking to the other day, but they talked about that argument about, well, there's going to be a ceiling on what you can make. But there's only a handful of players, and you mentioned a couple, that are in that stratosphere, if you will. The Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Bryce Harper's deal was in there. But you're talking about a handful versus the bulk of the league being below that, in that the argument was this would benefit those in the middle much more than it would limit those at the top, so to speak.
Yeah, it would help more people.
Right. Yeah, more would be impacted in a positive way than those that are hurt, if you will, by only making, $200 million instead of $350 million, or whatever that number would be.
Yeah, I mean, I see it, and as somebody that would, be in that category as a, in that scenario, I would be, as a reliever, set to make more money, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it would be like, oh, yeah, this is attractive to me, right? But it's like, I think there are other ways to navigate it than just to say, okay, let's bring the floor up, let's make everyone make more money. I think you look at the arbitration system, you look at how players are currently paid when they get to free agency. There are other levers, I think, that could allow players to maximize their earning dollars. And I think right now the current situation is set up in ways that maybe aren't advantageous. And I think that's why you see, and I think that's a good thing, right? But you see a Colt Emerson getting a contract with never playing, right? You see these guys get all this money because the way the system is set up, it has only set up for guys that get to the big leagues early and then become a free agent after 6 years, and say you're 26, 27, finally can lock into that deal. But a lot of athletes, they don't come into their prime until they're 26 or 27. By the time they get to free agent, they're 32, and people are like, you're worthless. You know what I mean? We're not going to sign you to that big old contract that we used to see back in the day. You get a guy that finally played 5-6 years, signs a big deal, and then he's making the most money at the end of the contract, and you're like, well, he's worthless, right? So I think that's the thing that teams are trying to navigate, is say, well, let's try and pay players early and see if that if they hit their market value, we've already got them locked in. Even Julio's deal, right? I mean, you get these guys into free agency, they turn into this Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani type money, and I think the owners are like, we don't want to do that anymore. Like, that's too much money for us. But it's like, well, guess what? Your organization continues to be worth more money. Mm-hmm. Like, you continue to make more money, but you're just saying, no, of the pie chart, we want to limit the players' amount of money. So I just like, it's really, and believe me, I'm not saying I know all the answers, but I am certainly on the side of, as a former player rep, as somebody that has been inside those conversations, I am all for the players making as much money as they can while they can. And I know maybe this is geared towards the top end of the player, but it's something that for me, will be really fascinating to see how it plays out, because I do think the players will just be like, nah, you're not touching the salary cap. And I think the floor is going to be the one that's really the more prominent issue at the end of the day, because we look at Pittsburgh, we look at Miami, we look at teams that aren't spending. It's like, well, is there a way to give them incentive to spend more money to try and be more competitive? Because as a player, you just want to go onto a team that is competitive, that you have a chance to win a World Series. And it is tough when you're in a situation when you're like, well, yeah, this is good money, but the team stinks, right?
Well, if you're the player rep for, say, the Mariners, and this floor, they're saying, okay, we're going to do a cap, but we're going to do a floor too. That's going to benefit, like we said, more players. So, I don't know how the whole process goes, but as far as, you being a rep, trying to explain to those guys that this is really a bad thing overall is going to be kind of a tough sell, right? Because of, guys are going to get, like we said, ramped up a little bit more.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's as tough sell as you think. And I think in the scenario of how this all gets laid out and to present it to everyone, essentially, you'd kind of have to have some sort of situation where the rest of, the bulk of players that weren't making money decided to say, nope, I don't like this deal. We're going to stick together now, and we feel a certain way. But I think when you look at the history of the union and how much conversations happen within team to team, within union members, within player reps, this is something that it doesn't feel at any point like people are going to, go, oh, no, I disagree. I actually think a salary cap is good. Like, I think this is good. Like, I don't see it any version. Maybe there's a couple guys that feel that way because, they would get the instant gratification if this thing happened to make more money. Yeah. But at the end of the day, you're also taking max dollars away from everyone, like for the future, forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. Like, you're setting a tone now that says no one can make X amount of money, or like you can only make so much money. And it's like, well, then, all right, well, owner, you can only sell the team for so much money, right? Yeah. You can only bring in so much revenue per year, right? Like, putting a cap on it it really is to a lot of players, and I may not be as offensive or offended as some guys, but it certainly feels like a non-starter conversation for some guys.
Well, it always has been. This is the first time the league's proposed it since '94.
Yeah.
And it's always been a non-starter, like Players Association. Nope. What else you got?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is they'll always try to even spin it or blanket it as something else that suitably acts as a salary cap.
Right.
So, and that's where the players and our union is so strong that know exactly, like, okay, this isn't going to work. You're not going to try and spin it some other way then put some weird cap that we didn't see coming. So,
right.
Yeah, it is a very interesting situation, and I just know the union's really strong, and we all know as players, and I know the teams know, is like the most important thing is the product in the field, and right now it's as strong as ever.
Yeah, and they also know if they give it up, they're not getting it back.
Yeah, well, if it's not like you're going to have replacement games. You're going to have replacement players.
Right.
Right. Okay, yeah.
But if they give up that,
right.
All right,
well, you never
salary cap,
it's
never going away.
Never.
Yeah.
Right. That's the issue.
Real quick before the break here, this is Evan Drellich from the Athletic talking about revenue sharing. In his opinion, will be the area that gets the ball rolling on talks between the two sides.
I think the bigger question is, there's clearly revenue disparity. There's payroll disparity in baseball. What is the best way to solve it? The players stand there and go, we don't want to give up a limit on our salaries to do it. We want to change it by changing how you, the owners, share your money without the limit on the salary. And the owners are proposing basically both, saying we want to cut off the player salary piece of it and also alter how we share the money. And so revenue sharing, is kind of a boring topic, but it's going to be so important.
Yeah, I mean, because right now the smaller market teams like the Marlins, like the A's, like the Pirates are being fed money by the big boys who are spending that tax and that revenue sharing is going into their pocket. And the argument's been, you're not putting it back into your product. You're putting it into your pocket. So that's why I'd love the idea of a salary floor. I love that. But whether and I haven't seen what the proposal is to adjust revenue sharing. I don't know what they're saying about it, but that's been problematic in my estimation. Just that, yeah, we can all get mad at the Dodgers and Yankees and Mets for all this money they spend, Well, there are some beneficiaries out there that are quietly reaping the rewards from that.
I feel like philosophically, it's a departure from the free market system, basically.
Right.
And that's where you get in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, and, just from a, revenue player share, I mean, just to quote Bruce Meyer, for this season, 2026, the player share for the season is going to be well over 50%, using MLB's definition of revenues and what accounts against the player share. Had MLB's proposal been in place this year, players would estimate have lost $500 million.
The proposal they just put out.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, really? We're going to let's sign there. Perfect. Yeah. Let's lose $500 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know why that doesn't make sense to Lefko. What do you got to say for yourself, Lefko? That's what I thought. Absolutely nothing.
Crickets.
He's been
not even
silenced.
there.
He's been silenced.
He's hiding.
He's hiding under the table.
He's hiding behind his monitor.
Well, we'll talk about what's going on the field here.
Somebody threw him under the table, Bob.
Yeah, he's under the table.
Must have been Matt.
You see Matt is smiling ear to ear. That means Lefko is not in the building. Meanwhile, we'll talk about what's gone on with his pitching, what's gone right during this 7-game win streak. Gets Charlie's take on all of it. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Have you downloaded the Seattle Sports app?
We're going to have a challenge right here.
What are you waiting for?
Listen to this.
Every pitch.
Here comes the 3-2.
Every game.
Swung on and missed. Got him.
One app for free.
How about that, folks?
The Seattle Sports app. Every game.
Julio racing back.
Right in the palm of your hands.
Makes a leap and makes the catch.
Plus the latest Mariners news, insider access, video, and podcasts.
They got it. Wow.
The Seattle Sports app.
Are you somebody that's been dealing with an injury, maybe been going to physical therapy, doing everything you need, and now you're thinking about surgery or joint replacement? Before you do that, do what I did. Go see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. I thought I was looking at surgery on my hip. 14 years of jiu-jitsu absolutely thrashed my body, and I had multiple issues happening in my hip. I'd been going through physical therapy. I was getting steroid injections, and I thought, that's it. I'm at the end of the road, until I remembered all the testimonials I heard about Dr. Wagner and his 90-minute outpatient stem cell procedure. So I went to visit him. He took a look at my imaging and said, I can help you. It's not going to cure everything, but it's going to go a long way into relieving the pain, and he undersold it. It is night and day. Dr. Wagner's the most experienced in the Northwest. He's a board-certified physician with over 30 years of experience performing more than 20,000 stem cell procedures. He only uses your own stem cells to regenerate cartilage in your own joints. So people with severe osteoarthritis, even bone-on-bone, get back to doing what they enjoy without pain and without surgery. So whether it's a hip, like I had, maybe a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, knee, whatever it is, before choosing surgery, go see Dr. Mark Wagner first. Just go to drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Puget Sound, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Get away from it all and discover a place where good times are guaranteed. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining at the steakhouse. Catch your favorite sports on our wall-to-wall screens and sink into pure relaxation at the spa. Tee up at Loomis Trail for championship-caliber golf and experience your favorite musicians live at the Event Center. Visit SilverReefCasino.com and book your stay today. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks.
tasks. Discover smart business buying where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Power your drive with Mobil 1 motor oil. Buy 5 quarts, get $15 back, and score a fast and furious prize after rebate at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. And if you've been dreaming of that new deck, you got to get a hold of PCF. Call them before the great weather arrives and their schedule gets totally filled up. With a new deck, patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy the outdoors year-round no matter what the weather brings. And for a limited time, how about this? Get 50% off demolition costs up to $5,000 when you book your project with PCF. Contact People Come First Construction Group for all the details. They designed and built our outdoor living space, and we love it. Start planning and designing your dream deck now so you're ready to build this summer. Planning, permitting, and construction can take a little time, so get started today. Get project ideas, browse their amazing photos, and look at all the offer details at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space your favorite place. With People Come First.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Charlie, put your Kool-Aid away. We got to talk about what's going on on the field.
I'm all out, so, I need to make a fresh batch, so.
Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. Somebody accusing Charlie of drinking the owner's or the player's Kool-Aid out there. So
I remember when we had any kind of labor problem, there would always be people that would this is back before the internet, where they would send in, letters to the editor or whatever. And, all the players want more money. I'd go out there and I'd play for $10,000 or, whatever it is. And it's like, you know what? Nobody would buy tickets to watch your sorry ass play football. So, but yeah, I mean, it's always very, passionate discussion.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, let's talk about what we've seen. 7 games in a row right now. They are the hottest team in baseball. And the thing that stuck out to me about last night in particular, and in the 7 games, first of all, they've won 3 extra inning games. 3 of the last 4 have gone to extras. They've won them all. They were 1-3 before this homestand in extra inning games. They were 6-12 in 1-run games. All that's been washed aside during this. We've seen them win the 1 run, the extra innings. And last night, to me, was the perfect example of what a good team is. You had great pitching, phenomenal start, phenomenal bullpen. Your offense was flat. You had 4 hits. You had 1 walk. You had 9 strikeouts, and you found a way to win. That's what good teams do. Offense was getting shut down. They found a way to grind it out, steal a base, move runners, get it done.
Bob, if we're not giving credit to the pitching staff last night, then we're idiots.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
were phenomenal.
2 hits?
2 hits, 2
right?
solo shots.
Right,
Two
which
solos,
in theory, that doesn't happen with their 2 solo shots, right?
Yeah.
So that's
no walks,
where
no base. He wasn't giving it. No traffic.
I think it goes back to things we've talked about over the course of this season. It's like the pitchers don't need much, man. Like they're really, really good. And when everyone's firing and you get a great start out of Hancock, and then the bullpen comes in and does exactly what you want them to do, and they're just efficient right out the gate. I mean, it just feels like, oh, let's rinse and repeat this. This team is really, really good. And yeah, the offense has had a game or two like that in the past, right? But the ability to not give up and continue to fight and find a way, like that just shows you that they know exactly where they are and where they need to get to, and every opportunity that arises, especially late in the game, is going to be super important. And I think you saw some really, really big moments last night that they proved like they're in the place to really take off. And 7 in a row, come on, let's go.
Yeah. Hey, Rosarena stealing that bag last night, because I think the pitcher turned around and didn't throw it, but he turned around like he was gonna try to pick him off. But as a pitcher, who are the guys that bothered you the most? That because you see what Randy and whatever he's doing over there, and I can't tell if it's like a step further, the leadoff or whatever, but you can, and then the pitcher that's on the mound can. But what is it about those kinds of players like him, and also Naylor? I mean, neither of those guys are very fast.
I know,
and
they're the best base stealers on the Mariners, right?
Yeah. But what is it that those guys do that is so difficult as a pitcher?
It's the timing, right? I think they really have a knack of picking when, right? Like I think that's when recognizing when to be a base runner, and sometimes it's in counts that you don't suspect somebody to run, and then vice versa. It could be a situation where, and I think I've seen this in the past, where a guy will have a long at bat, even maybe he gets hit by a pitch, right, and then has to walk to first base. First pitch, run into second. Like, whoa, man, you just got hit, and now you're going to take off running. Like those are the times where you're like, okay, I thought I hit you in the ankle and you were limping. There's no chance you're going to go full sprint first next pitch. But I think those are the guys that just like pick and choose times that you don't suspect guys to run that are the most annoying. And I think that's what you see now out of Rosarena and Naylor is like they are stealing bags and they're finding ways to get a good jump right out the gate, which is a big part of base stealing, is like that first step is like, all right, and I think you've seen Naylor even kind of get way early on that first step and all right, whatever, I'm just going to go, right? Like at this point I'm off, right? And, as a pitcher, they can be annoying and you got to do your best to, keep them honest. And when they take a step towards the next base, maybe hold. Maybe when they take a step back towards first or second, that's when you pitch, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so they're not on that momentum where they can take a bag on you. But it's challenging, man. I mean, I think, it's a little bit more strategy now with the new pickoff rules. But
right.
Yeah, I mean these guys, I think the Mariners are a perfect example of taking advantage of the new rules and using base stealing as a way to get runs across the board. And that is a huge part of the game.
Right.
I think that maybe had been neglected in the past, but now the Mariners are finding ways, not just with their typical guys that are fast, but a Naylor and a Rosarena.
That's a great idea. I think if I was a hitter and got hit, and my leg's killing me. Just play it up big time.
Just going,
right?
just right
hobble to first.
Yeah.
And even for me as a lefty, looking at the guy on first, and I'm like, oh man. I can see his body language too. Like he's like, I'm not going. Like I can still rubbing it. It hurts.
Right.
I'm just going to post up here.
The nonchalant. You don't even look athletic. Then it's just poof, and then you're gone. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man. Oh.
Hey,
Did he really do that?
One of the things we were talking about is the young guys, and by that I mean even younger than Julio, who's still only 25. But Cole Young, Colt Emerson, you're seeing reasons to be excited about what they can possibly be, and certainly the Mariners are betting, at least in the case of Emerson, with that deal. But you're seeing, a more confident approach at the plate from Colt Emerson. Cole Young has been kind of unsung in my mind. He's come up with some big hits, obviously on the heels of last night, but some tremendous defensive plays. And it feels like you've got two pieces to be really excited about. And in Cole Young, I'm looking at a guy going, man, We were talking about it earlier. Who's the greatest second baseman in the history of this organization? You haven't had the long-time guy. Harold Reynolds had the longest run, but he's not arguably your best second baseman. Probably Cano, which is the best second baseman they've had. That's a 5-year run. It feels like we're seeing the beginning of what could be. Again, keeping in perspective, your answer at that spot where they haven't really had that long-term answer.
Yeah, you're right. I think especially, kind of what happened last year when Cole Young came up, right? I think there was a lot of excitement, but then, kind of saw the league adjust, and
they got to him.
He didn't adjust as well, right? So this year was a big year of taking all that experience and running with it, and I think, in the very beginning when kind of the offense was struggling and he was actually doing a pretty good job holding down the end of the lineup, and now it just seems to me, not only on defense, but definitely at the plate, he looks calmer. He doesn't look overwhelmed. He looks like, in some way it looks like he's meant to be there. Like he knows he should be there, right? And you can see his personality coming out now, and he's being himself more inside of the dugout with teammates. So these are all things that, you want to have happen as early as you can in your career. And now that he's, going through this, it just gives you that hope that, could this be a guy, that we can rely on at second base for many years to come, and to line it up with Colt Emerson, obviously at shortstop in the future. It's just, I keep hearing him. I'm the Colt and Cole. I'm like, are we going to call him like the CNC Music Factory over here?
Jeez.
Like.
Let's not do that. We could do better than that.
Well,
do better.
First
you
one
got Cole, then you got Colt, then you got
Emerson Hancock.
Yeah.
Colt Emerson.
Easy to screw them all up.
Yeah.
By the way, Morosi in the last segment told us they've had a different starting second baseman for the last 8 years. Each year there's been a different name there. So you haven't had that stability there, and it feels like you may have found it. But we'll see. Don't want to get too far out ahead, but it's reasons to be optimistic. Meanwhile, Mariners continue to have a good problem when it comes to their pitching staff. We'll get Charlie's insight on that coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Think you know the Mariners? Not if you aren't subscribed to the Daily Mariners newsletter from Seattle Sports.
That's what they've been waiting for.
The latest Mariners news and injury updates, exclusives from Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
You look at the pieces and how it works.
Plus the best takes and breakdowns from your favorite Seattle Sports hosts and contributors.
The Mariners seem to be trying to build something that I think is a little bit more sustainable.
The Daily Mariners newsletter.
Monster solo home run.
Subscribe at seattlesports.com/newsletter.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here, and you've heard me talk about a local company for over a year now, Harley Exteriors. And I recently sat down with them, and I was really excited to hear about the many Seattle sports listeners they've worked with on window and door replacements. And Harley Exteriors has stepped up with a can't-miss offer. $450 off each new window. $1,000 off each patio door or entry door, 12-month and 18-month, no interest, no payment options, plus $200 off your final project total. And if that isn't enough to get you started on your new project, I don't know what is. So schedule a consultation just like I did. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Minimum purchase of 4 windows required for window discount. Qualifying windows must be 36 by 36 or larger. No size minimum on patio or entry doors. Financing subject to credit approval. Cannot be combined with other offers outside this promotion. Offer valid through May 31st.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Play with purpose, compete fairly, track progress. Michael Bumpus here. A golf handicap does more than just keep score. It helps you enjoy the game more. 1, it helps you set goals that match your actual skill level. 2, it makes competition fun and fair no matter who you're playing with. And 3, it lets you track your progress so you can measure improvement over time. It only takes 3 18-hole rounds to establish your handicap index. Just sign up for a handicap ID, post your scores, and get started. Learn more at wagolf.org/710.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit. Accurate Auto Body.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
This Friday, Masters of the Universe arrives.
That sword is gonna show me the way home.
Power up your summer.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
And experience the rise.
Take the sword, protect them.
Of He-Man.
I have the power!
How does it feel to be the mighty warrior?
Pretty great.
Don't miss Masters of the Universe. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. Early screenings Wednesday. Everywhere Friday.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Charlie Furbush in studio with us until the top of the hour, at which point we'll turn our attention to El Hombre, Michael Bradley, and then we'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 5:30. Meanwhile, Emerson Hancock, we touched on it briefly. He was great last night. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. His 8th quality start of the season. He's tied with Brian Wu for the team lead. He had 5 all of last year. And I know he's not a regular in the rotation, but he had a fair number of starts, only had 5. So we've seen the uptick in velocity from him, the sweeper. I mean, he's a different pitcher right now. Is he in a prove-it phase still, in your opinion, or do you look at him and go, no, this is who he is. This is who I expect him to be. I mean, we haven't reached the halfway point yet. How does his arm feel after 8 more starts? So is he losing velocity? Does he look different? But I because Ryan had brought up that he's that the start before this one was the most important of the year because he felt like he was still should be looking over his shoulder, and I was like, I don't get that. He's been your best pitcher, your most consistent pitcher. If he went out there and had got lit up in one game, I don't think that changes anything. He's coming back, making the next start. Right. But what do you think? Are you sold on what you've seen? Or are you still kind of going, all right, well, let's let's see who he is later in the season.
Yeah, I think it's still a prove-it type year because as great as the first couple of months have been, it's not the full season, right? I think that's where, get a full body of work really gives you a sense of who Hancock is. I think now with the, changes he's made and lowering the arm slot and really relying on that sweeper, I think if he can do what he's done the entire year, then this proves to me that he is absolutely a formidable set it and forget it type starter in your rotation, and he's seen how other guys in that rotation have been successful. But he's certainly setting himself up. This is an all-star start for Hancock, right? And that's where we walk into this season, and I remember sitting here first week. I don't think any of us would sit here and go, oh yeah, you know what I got? Hancock all-star game.
No.
You know what I mean? And it's and I think that's such a bright spot. And then, where he's come from in his entire career to where he is now, and then now knowing he's this force in the rotation and essentially pitching better than we've ever seen him. It's just like I'm just being as cautiously optimistic as I can because I'm seeing so much good things. But again, it's 2 months, right? Like you want to see it over the course of the season. You want to see
starts.
You want to see it in the dog days of summer. You want to, you're going to have to face teams again. How do they navigate you? How do you navigate them? And there's a lot of things that I think still need to be answered, but there is nothing short of a bunch of remarkable pitching he's done up until this point.
I just go back to April every time I think of Emerson Hancock, and there was a 3 1/3 outing where he gave up 8 earned runs, and you came in here and you were like, he's going to be okay. This guy's going to be okay. And to your credit, I don't think, let's see, he had one outing where he had 4 earned runs, but everything else was below that. And then, it seemed like because Cal was talking about his arm slot, and Shannon, asked him the question about, Emerson Hancock, and he was basically saying, yeah, I told him to go out there and throw like a shortstop. And it was just, I don't know, maybe it was just one of those things that clicked. I think either way, he's still going to be really good, right? But, I love, number one, that you stuck up for him after that. But
100%.
then, because you see things differently. But, it's I don't know. He looks too young, and he just doesn't look like a killer. But he's a trained killer. This he's incredible at what he does.
Yeah, if you take away the stuff and the results, like go watch some body language, right? I think that's a big indicator how guys are kind of carrying themselves on the mound, whether they're having success or failure. And can you notice anything different, right? Do you notice them? Maybe there's always a moment where I should have done it better. Maybe there's a quick reaction, but generally speaking, are you carrying yourself differently when you're failing versus when you're succeeding? And it just feels like he's unfazed by what he's having to handle. And obviously, there's been a ton of success, but he's done a really good job of making pitches in big moments, like in a certain inning. Oh, it's the 4th inning. It's first and second, one out. This could kind of unravel,
right?
And what does he do? He comes up with a big strikeout and a ground out, right? Gets out of the jam. So I think you look at him and all the experience he had last year, from that starting to relieving, now back to starting. As somebody that's kind of done that myself, you just end up having to simplify everything because it's at the end of the day, I don't know my role, or if I didn't know my role, it doesn't matter because my job is to get the ball in my hand and get the guy out. Like, I just have to get outs.
Yeah.
So it simplifies the whole process, and I think that Emerson's just learned a lot. And now you're seeing essentially the best version, and he's made some adjustments, lowered the arm slot, and allowed himself to go out there and pitch up to his ability, which I think the Mariners saw the whole time is why they drafted him in the first round.
Who do you trust the most? The playoff start today. Everybody's rested and healthy. I think Woo's still my opening day. I mean, especially coming off that last start. He was phenomenal in his last start. He's got 8 quality starts this year, but maybe Hancock's 2 or 3. I don't know. How would you, if you're going with 3 or maybe 4? Who are those guys? Who do you trust the most? Right?
I mean,
if we're talking today, right now.
Yeah, I think Woo is. It's really hard to argue, especially what he did last year, and then he got hurt at the end. And I think that everything looks different if he's the ace in all these series. So, yeah, without a doubt, I think he's the guy that would be the ace. He steps it up. He acts like an ace on the mound. You can tell he's just this aggressive, not going to be fazed by anything when he's out there. And then, it's hard not to pick Logan number 2. Like, I think Gilbert is these last couple starts has really looked like himself. Yeah. I think we saw a couple outings that were a little rocky, or
just every other outing.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not even an outing. It just feels like just one bad inning, or like a couple bad pitches that doesn't allow him to go deep in the game like we'd seen so many times in the past. But I've said this before. I think his delivery right now is as good as I've seen it. Like the way that he is. Like riding the slope and not letting his front side fly open too much, and just feels like everything is going right at the catcher, even through him, and you're seeing all of the pitches become the nasty pitches that you see. And when he's able to have that delivery that's consistent, he can then release the pitches the way he wants and throw high-quality strikes and be the guy. So those are the 2 guys I slop right in, and I would almost say Hancock's number 3 at this point. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, based on it, like I would be happy having
today?
him. Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm with you. Charlie, as always, great stuff, man.
It's over already.
Quick. You sure you got to leave?
Well, I guess I got to go make some more Kool-Aid. Yeah. At home. So you know what I mean? That's what it is.
You drank it all.
It's all gone. I got some refreshments coming. Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. We'll do it again next week.
I can't wait.
There you go. There's Charlie Furbush with us every week in studio for an hour talking baseball. Meanwhile, they have finally rid themselves of A.J. Brown. We'll ask El Hombre about that and plenty more. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mariners have done it again!
The M's are on a roll.
They've won 7 in a row!
Bob, I'm about to get turned.
Things are good when you are turned.
Tonight, the M's go for 8 in a row, with Logan Gilbert taking the hill at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
They keep finding various ways to win.
We'll go to extra innings. We'll get that late home run.
Go inside the Mariners' current surge at seattlesports.com.
Are you got somebody that deals with poor vision? Maybe you got a pair of readers with you at all times, because that was me. I had to have them in every room of the house, had to bring them into restaurants and stores, and if I didn't, I couldn't read anything. I went to King LASIK and K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE, absolute game changer for me. All of the readers are now in drawers. So if you're somebody dealing with that, trust me on this. One of the best decisions I've ever made was going to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. With over 400,000 procedures done, Doctors Kopstein and King are 2 of the most experienced vision correction surgeons in America. So whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. King LASIK and K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers, no cataracts. Again, that's k2visionrle.com.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at olympichottub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and Cruising Into Summer is back at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, and so are some of the biggest acts in entertainment. Bingo Loco taking over Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel on Saturday, May 30th. Think bingo, but with DJs, dance-offs, prizes, and a full-on party vibe. Then Master Mentalist Colin Cloud brings his hit show, Colin Cloud Mastermind, to the Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel Ballroom Saturday, June 13th. You won't believe your eyes. Tickets on sale now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Dealing with divorce and custody issues can be terrifying and very lonely, but you don't need to face it alone. Goldberg Jones has been helping Northwest husbands and fathers for more than 30 years. Thousands of men have put their trust in us. You can too. Learn more at goldbergjones.com.
How would you like to invest in the Seattle real estate market, one of the hottest and most stable regions in the country, and achieve a great rate of return on your investment without the effort of sourcing a deal, the expense and time of building permits, or all the hassles that come with being a landlord? Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Invest in the stability and ease of Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund. Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners are red hot. In fact, the hottest team in baseball, winners of 7 in a row, looking to make it 8 in Game 2 of their 3-game series with the Mets coming up tonight. Logan Gilbert on the hill for the M's. You can catch it all starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Taking a look at your scoreboard right now. Top of the 5th in Tampa, the Tigers shutting out the Rays 5-0. They're in the top of the 5th in Philly. Padres and Phillies knotted up at 2 apiece. Top of the 5th in Boston, it's the Orioles up on the Red Sox 4-1. Top of the 5th in Washington, Dave, no score between the Marlins and the Nationals. Top of the 4th in New York, Yankees up 2-1 on the Guardians. It's 1-0 Royals out in front of the Reds in Cincinnati in the top of the 4th. Bottom of the 3rd in Atlanta, the Braves up 3-2 on the Blue Jays. And headed to the bottom of the 2nd in Minnesota, no score between the Twins and the White Sox.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee?
What?
El Hombre.
That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low.
Yeah.
Roz is better.
El Hombre.
The natural meets Rudy meets. I don't even know how to describe it.
El Hombre.
He's here, everybody. Every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, we bring this man in for a conversation about everything happening in the world of sports. He's the one, the only El Hombre. Michael Bradley is here with us. How are you, sir?
Sup.
Sup, man.
Did you not hear the update?
Sup. I'm not taking a bait anymore. You guys want to be wrong? Go ahead.
I was gonna
be as wrong as you want to be.
I told Bob I was gonna push the button and go, "You're asking for it, man."
I told him before. I go, "Let's see if El Hombre checks me on this."
Nope. I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh, I love it. Hey,
You're not our trained little monkey.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, what's the feeling out there? Is it joy? Is it relief? The departure of A.J. Brown, because I saw that that Jordan Mailata said, "Thank God it's over."
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not joy. It's more relief. It's sort of like we knew it was going to happen. It has finally happened. The Eagles can move on. They got it. We got what everybody thought they were going to get, right? A 28 2028 first rounder. Are you serious? All right, sorry, I'm watching Mr. Softy pitch, Aaron Nola, and he's in the fifth. He's already thrown 73 through 4. He's a great fifth starter, but you're paying him $24.5 million a year. Look, the Eagles clearly bulked up their wide receiving core as much as they could in the offseason. You knew they were going to get rid of him. It was just, when was it exactly going to happen? The fifth round pick is a sweetener. They got about what they were going to get for him, and now they move forward.
Have we heard anything from Jalen Hurts? I just have always liked that guy, and I always felt like he was a class act and a good quarterback and a good leader. But I love that commercial for flag football where he sets the football on fire and throws it. It's pretty awesome. Anyway, he just seems like a good guy. But where did he come out in this whole thing?
Here's where he came out. He lost a very good target. That's what everybody's forgetting about this.
Yeah.
They're talking about the drama and who got invited to whose wedding and what was going on. What's going on during the locker room. This is a guy who caught more than 300 passes. Sorry, one of my students is actually calling me, so my voice is cutting out as the call waiting. We got a hot story about a local bar that all the students go to. So they're forgetting that you're losing a guy who caught more than 300 passes in his time in Philadelphia. That's not easy to replace. You got a rookie, you got Hollywood Brown, you got a couple other guys. Devontae Smith's going to catch more, but he's not a big guy. He's not an over-the-middle kind of guy. So this is going to hurts a little bit because he's losing someone who is a very important part of the passing attack.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever debated his ability, his talent, but the fact that he's now on his third team with that kind of talent tells you who he is on a team, right? I mean, you don't move talent like that unless there's an issue. So,
yeah, I mean, Jerry Rice ended up with the Raiders because he was old and they didn't want to pay him.
Yeah.
That was after helping him win multiple Super Bowls.
Hey, he was on the Seahawks.
Yeah, he had to stop here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he just didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
This guy's been on 3 teams in his prime.
Yeah.
That, again, tells you a little something about him. And look, the Eagles needed to clear some money because they brought in, a defensive end from Minnesota who's going to make some money over the next few years. They were up against the cap. They didn't have a whole lot of room. So this kind of helps them in that regard also. And you get a first rounder in 28. You get a fifth rounder next year. Howie can turn them into something. That's what he does. So I think that this was if you had to get rid of him, right? Then you did a pretty good job.
What was your take on Myles Garrett being? This was kind of a move made out of nowhere. At least we didn't hear any whispers of the Rams pursuing him, but looked like he was going to stay in Cleveland. And I feel bad for Jared Verse, who's probably going, what did I do? I was on a Super Bowl contender, and now I got to go play in Cleveland.
Look, here's the way I look at it. There were rumors that Garrett might be traded. I mean, why would the Browns want him, right? It's like you are making $25,000 a year and you have a Bentley in your garage, and you have to pay. You have to put gas in it. You've got to insure it. You've got to maintain it. They didn't need Myles Garrett right now. They're in full rebuild. So what do? You get a third-year player who's already made 2 Pro Bowls and a Defensive Rookie of the Year. You get a first-round pick in 27, a second-round pick in 28, and you don't have to pay Myles Garrett. So as soon as they can get that god-awful, hideous contract for Deshaun Watson off the books, they might actually be able to do something. If I'm Verse, I go and play as hard as I can. ESPN is making this sound as if the Rams have gotten the greatest player in the history of football who every single week is going to get 3 sacks, right? Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the case. Verse had, I think, 16 sacks in 32 games. Garrett will get you double-figure sacks, but it's 17 games. Is he going to get 20 sacks? I don't think so. He's been around the league for a while. I get what they're saying. Everybody's saying he's a great closer late in the game when the other team's passing the ball. He'll be perfect. And he's going to make a couple of sacks that do that. But they're giving up a lot. And I guess they're basically saying it's right now. It's our time right now.
Don't you think the Browns are just going to screw it up with those extra points or extra drafts that they got first, second, third? It just, yeah. I don't know. Maybe
I liken
Bob
them
said
to
it.
what it used to be like, huh?
Bob said it. They'll probably draft another quarterback.
Yeah, a bad one. And here's the thing. For the longest time, for like 10 years in a row, everybody who the Sacramento Kings drafted stunk. Even if they picked them third, fourth, whatever. And so it got to the point where if you were a player and you got drafted by the Kings, you're like, oh, my God, I stink. So if the Browns are going to choose you with one of these picks, it's going to be the same thing. Wow, I thought I was good. I'm no good.
Oh, no, I stink. Hey, we were just having a good conversation about the proposals made from the Players Association, from Major League Baseball. We had Charlie Furbush in here, who used to be a player rep. And he obviously is very, very anti the owner's proposal. But I'm curious, we had Jon Morosi tell us if you equated this to a football field and both sides need to meet in the middle of the field, each side has their heels on the goal line. They're about to be forced into a safety. That's how far apart they certainly are. There's a lot of room to be covered. What do you make of these two proposals out of the gate? And do you see them finding that middle ground, or do you think, yeah, these proposals are so out of whack that we're looking at a work stoppage?
I'm almost convinced there's going to be a work stoppage. I think the owners have finally said we're going to get a cap one way or another. If we've got to cancel the season. And Bryce Harper came out yesterday and said something pretty smart, which is, baseball's in a good spot right now. They just got a big TV deal. Are you really, really willing to throw all that away? Because young people don't pay attention to baseball after they bet whether there's going to be a run scored in the first inning. Older people are going to start discovering other things to do. Right now, I mean, I'm somebody who has the Phillies game on every single night, except when they're on the left coast and I'm in bed early. But I've got it on right now. It's sound up, sound down, whatever. I'm watching. There aren't a lot of people like that under the age of 50 anymore. And if you're going to damage your game by giving people a reason to find something else to do during the months of, June, mid-June, July, and into August when preseason games start, you're playing a dangerous game, because once we get into mid-August, late August, and college football starts, and the NFL is really going to, gets rolling in September, and then the NBA starts in October, and hockey and college basketball, you're basically begging people to turn away from you. But the owners want, they want control of the salaries. They want control. And now the floor is going to go way up, $175 million floor. I think that's what the number was, 173, whatever.
171, I think.
171. That's way above what some of these teams are paying.
Yep.
I mean, there may be as many as 10 that are below that and 5 that are really below that. So that's a good thing. And if I'm the commissioner, I say to the owners, you either pay it or sell it. Sell the team. Take your couple $1 billion and go do something else. Buy a roller derby team. But the players don't want a cap, and the owners do. So as Morosi said, they are way apart.
Yeah, it's a shame because, they've gotten so many things right, like making the game shorter.
Yeah.
The ABS challenge thing has really been good. I mean, it's a shame, but what do you think it is about football? Is it the violence? Is that why the NFL is pretty much bulletproof? Or, because you were saying that people will find other things to do, but yeah, I mean, that would never be the case, I don't think, with the NFL.
Look, fantasy football was a big deal for a while. It still is, okay? Fantasy baseball's tough, right? Every week you got who got hurt, who got called up, who's the backup reliever for the Marlins. It's hard to keep track of that. Fantasy football is huge. Gambling on football is mammoth. And the NFL has said, please, gamble. Bet as much as you want. Please do that. But, patronize our partners. Plus, it's just football is a great sport. It happens once a week now. I mean, we're going to have games every night. But you sit there and you wait for your team's game. No, people don't tailgate baseball that much. You tailgate football, right? Cold weather games, the frozen tundra, Nobody says, ooh, I love it when those mosquitoes the size of kangaroos show up in St. Louis. That's really – no, nobody cares about that. It's just there's so many things, and the NFL has done such a great job of stretching the season, the off-season out with free agency and then the draft and then the OTAs. And how great is this for them? You've got tremendous drama of two big trades in early June when we're starting the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals the same week. What is everybody talking about? We're talking about the NFL. And usually June is when the NFL says, we'll be quiet so you guys can finish up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, to me, you hit it. The biggest reason is you have a favorite team. You get them once a week. It's an event. It's an event when they play because you got 17 chances. If you don't make the playoffs, you got 17 games. Baseball, it's 162. So there's not the urgency to catch every game like the way you watch, the way I watch. People will be like, I'll go to a game. I'll go to a game next month. I'll go to a game here or there, whatever. It's so you're just saturated with baseball during the season, whereas football, you have one game a week for your team anyway.
And I don't know if it's like this in Seattle, but I just wrote an article about this, about how the Phillies put on a game off the field. And I had the guy from the company that runs the concessions tell me there are people that show up before the game and get their dinner. And then in the fourth inning, they go and get their dessert. And then in the eighth inning, they go and get like a pretzel or popcorn. And it's like, how much of the game do you see? Because the concession stand lines at Citizens Bank Park are grim. They're horrible. You miss a half an inning at least. I've got to a point now where I can get out of my seat as soon as the inning ends, get to the bathroom, and get back before the first pitch, okay? That's pretty good. I sprint. You want to go get yourself a helmet Sunday? You're going to miss an inning. People are going to games not to watch the game. They're going to games to eat and to listen to the music and watch the stupid mascot. Nobody's going to see Pat the Patriot, okay?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great, date, right? I mean, I mean, the NFL, those games, the soccer games where everybody's standing and everything, it's usually – but, yeah, baseball is awesome time to, catch up and that kind of thing. I don't know.
You would never take a first date to an Eagles game. She may end up with vomit on her.
Yeah.
She could get punched in the parking lot. She could end up in a row with a motorcycle gang that decides tonight's the night for a human sacrifice. Who knows?
You don't run that risk at a Phillies game, huh?
No, are you kidding me? You sit there till the seventh inning or the eighth inning when the fanatic runs down and all the kids come, and isn't it fun? And then he dances with people in the seventh inning stretch, and then it's like, please, my wife will say to me when I come back, did you have fun? I'll say, no, the Phillies lost. Yeah, but you were with your friends. No, they lost. I didn't have fun, okay? Everybody else says, oh, you went to the Phillies game. I love Citizens Bank Park, but they lost 6-0. Still, did you get a cheesesteak? Did you get this? Did you get a helmet Sunday? Did you see the fanatic? Please.
Oh, that's the draw there for him, huh? Meanwhile,
yes, for a lot of people.
It's pretty amazing to look at that division because you look at every other division leader. They're up by a game, up by a game and a half. Mariners are up by 2.5. 5.5. The Brewers have a nice bulge there, and same with the Dodgers, 5. But then you look at the Braves; they're up by 9.5 games over the second place team, which is the Phillies. It's just. The Braves, I keep waiting for them to come. I know they were supposed to be good. I didn't expect them to be this dominant, I guess, to this point, if we're just looking at their record and how far out in front. Do you buy into that this is who they are throughout the entire season, or do you think, they're going to come back down to earth a bit?
I don't know if they win by 9, but I think they win the division. Yeah, look, the last couple of years we thought the Braves were going to be good, and then they have an injury or 2 or 3. The only thing that I'm delighted about with this scenario is the Mets again stink. They continue spending silly money. Bo Bichette, thank goodness the Phillies didn't get him. He looks like he belongs in – is there something below A ball? Is it like A- ball? So this is great. The Mets stink, but the Braves are playing real good baseball. The Phillies just lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, who have a tremendous lineup and a great pitching staff. So it's you look at it in the National League, Brewers, Braves, Dodgers are separating themselves. There's a pig pile for the wild cards. But again, who knows? You get a team that gets hot in September, gets into the wild card, they can do some damage. That's the difference. Baseball is different than the other sports. Hockey, you never know. Hockey, who knows? The last place team could win 5 games in early April, get into the playoffs, and win the Stanley Cup sometimes. But baseball is unpredictable that way. So as well as the Braves are playing now, there's no guarantee they're going to the World Series or even the NLCS.
Michael, what about basketball? How about the NBA championship starting here, tomorrow, I think? You got the Knicks in San Antonio. I've been very fascinated watching Wemby. He's just such a freak of nature, man. Just really fun to watch. But what do you think about this series?
All right, first of all, the Wemby thing, okay? I'm tired of the media calling him Wemby. His name is Victor Wembanyama, okay? Right. You don't call LeBron James if you're a real media member, King James, the chosen one, LBJ, LeBron. You're not hanging out with him. He's not in your contact. LeBron James, second reference, James, okay? So it's Victor Wembanyama.
That's weird that he would have a little idiosyncracy like that. That's very strange.
Me? You're surprised with that. Yeah, my son told me, that's a bad take, Dad. Like, I don't care. I'm sticking with it. What mystifies me is how everybody's saying that he's on path to be. Somebody actually said, it might have been Wilbon, whom I respect because he's a couple of years older than me, and he's a legitimate media member. He said he could be the greatest player of all time. Please. He has won nothing. He made it to the finals. Great job. They're the second youngest team since 1958 to make it to the finals. That's what scares me because all the people around here, you got to root for the Nova Knicks. Right, Villanova Knicks. Yeah, you got to root for them. No, you don't root for New York. Stop it. I didn't root for the Patriots because Tom Brady went to Michigan, for Pete's sake. Never like the Raiders or the Packers because Charles Woodson, he went Heisman. So this is going to be an interesting thing. What did the Knicks do with Wembanyama? Can they push him away from the basket? And do these other young guys melt under the brightest lights of the NBA? And especially when they get to the Garden and you start looking around and there in the front row is, all these stars and, the people who have billions of dollars. It's going to be an interesting series.
By the way, did you see the Wembanyama card that sold for $5.1 million?
No, I did not.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, one of one and mint condition. Well, obviously, whatever, but $5.1 million for a card.
I heard it was a card that included all of the great French players.
Yeah, that's right.
Excuse me, both of the great French players.
Yeah, all of them.
Tony Parker and Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, coincidentally, both Spurs. How about that?
Yeah,
forgot about Tony Parker.
I didn't see that. I'm mystified by someone who spends $5.1 million for a trading card.
Yeah,
right. It's I guess. All right, if you've got that kind of money, you're going to spend it that way. That's great. But again, win something.
Yeah.
All right, please.
Guys,
win something and then go win it again.
Yeah, he's in his third year. He's got 3 years under his belt. So we'll see if that card pays off.
He's already the greatest player of all time. Yeah, right. Forget Jordan. And he'd eat Kareem's lunch. Please. Right now he's a better Ralph Sampson in a league that allows him to take 4 steps into the lane from midcourt and lay the ball up.
Yeah,
that drives me nuts.
Let's not. I love them, and I love the Spurs, and I love Popovich. They play as they used to say. They play as Larry Brown used to say. They play the game the right way. But let's stop before we have the coronation.
Yeah.
But please beat the Knicks. But please, I don't need to hear. I don't need to hear Philadelphians celebrating a New York team winning something.
That's right. Yeah. Go Spurs. Go Spurs. He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us each and every week. You find him here on Tuesdays at 5 o'clock. You can find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre. At Daily Hombre. Once again, is where you find him on Twitter. Michael, we appreciate it. Great stuff. We'll do it again next week.
So long, suckers.
There he goes, everybody. El Hombre. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture. Click on that. It's right there waiting for you. And don't forget, click subscribe. It's free. And then it just shows up for you. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, that was so weird that he had a problem with people calling him Wemby. Of all things.
It's Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. I'm going to call him Vic next time. See what he says about
Vic
that.
Wemby?
Vic. Yeah, for his close friends.
Yeah, I think that's just to keep people from butchering his name.
Yeah. I will say that he's right about, that's one thing that drives me nuts. And college basketball, too, it's crept in a little bit, but the traveling in the NBA.
Oh, yeah, the on the court travel. I was thinking game travel from one location to another. But no, you're right. You see the carry.
Yeah.
You see the palm of them, they're carrying the ball. Yeah, there's very little of that that's ever called.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty egregious. But anyway, that does it for us. Want to thank our guests, Jon Morosi, Charlie Furbush, and El Hombre, Michael Bradley. Again, if you guys missed any part of the show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab, click on our picture, and don't forget to click subscribe. Again, it's totally free. You got the Mariners and Mets coming up, Game 2. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The Mariners have done it again!
The M's are on a roll.
They've won 7 in a row!
Bob, I'm about to get turned.
Things are good when you are turned.
Tonight, the M's go for 8 in a row, with Logan Gilbert taking the hill at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
They keep finding various ways to win.
We'll go to extra innings. We'll get that late home run.
Go inside the Mariners' current surge at seattlesports.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This Friday, Masters of the Universe arrives.
That sword is gonna show me the way home.
Power up your summer.
Hang on, it's about to get weird.
And experience the rise.
Take the sword, protect them.
Of He-Man.
I have the power! How does it feel to be the mighty warrior?
Pretty great.
Don't miss Masters of the Universe. Rated PG-13. May be inappropriate for children under 13. Early screenings Wednesday. Everywhere Friday.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. That light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton.
With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Mariners and Mets tonight at T-Mobile. First pitch at 6:40, 5:30 pregame. Every pitch, every game, one app for free. The Seattle Sports app.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000.